The creating happened for everyone else after that session 0, except for me. I watched in horror as people just kept adding knickknacks to our home.
Well, I think we need a blanket over here, actually, in a vase. Yeah, I think it looks nice. It matches the blanket, even.
If the Horn of
Sheep
Abaddon taught us nothing.
Sheep's leaning in with helpful tips like, if you put in everything you want and take a screenshot of it, it won't lag MapFill as much. I'm like, don't enable them!
It's true, though.
Don't enable them!
The hoarders. Just
Maybe that's what Dreads of the Dragon Coast is missing, a place for you people to decorate.
I don't know.
That used to be layers.
It did. Didn't lack map tool, it lacked the campaign at that point. 4 session every time. It was great. I liked it. How is the sound, Bat? Just let me know if there's anything that is changing. It should be the same as always, so hopefully not.
Oh, the excitement, the romance, the desire.
I am excited with this campaign.
I looked at like Sheep's like, oh hey, well timed, like in the future there'll be a time where I might not be able to play sometimes. And I was like a cynical part of my brain was like, I hope we're alive then. I hope the campaign, I hope that we're not all dead.
I hope we're alive then. Yeah, that's a sentiment.
Well, odds have gone up, right? After last session?
I think so. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Maybe
that didn't sound very encouraging, Eric. You're like, I think so.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, you mean like our characters in game and not referencing
No.
Wow, she morbid.
These pandemic times, you need
like,
that disclaimer.
Sorry, I did not mean
No,
to
I
discourage
understood
anyone.
you. I understood you.
Yeah.
Sheep's mind's in a dark place right now.
Boy, he's just so confident about the campaign, he couldn't imagine losing.
Yeah, that must be it. Surely.
Please do not let your character become your personal thoughts.
Joke's on you, I've already lost.
I'm just taking you all down with me.
When did that happen, out of curiosity?
At some point in the past. I'm still working on specifying the exact point it happened.
That's unfortunate. This campaign has gone on nearly 3 real-life years right now, so I'd hope you'd have pinpointed that.
It's... Losing is not a time, it's a mindset.
Don't you fucking start with me! Don't you do your invasive, political jazz hands! I asked you a specific question.
Invasive political jazz hands.
Oh, what even does it mean to truly lose?
Did you realize you lost this campaign?
What is life really?
Don't you enable him?
As a famous Dane once said, to be or not to be.
Hang him!
Glad there's an entire ocean separating us.
Fucking, so I never be like, oh, what is the true feeling? Fucking kill me.
I mean, this is Dragon campaign. The next big project for 3 years is Riddle campaign. Right? It's like, all this time, all the riddling has been put into a document. Players will be sphinxes.
After 3 years, Griffith has quit the Dreads of the Dragon Coast campaign.
I am very busy, and I just can't find the time to answer riddles for 4 hours. Which would be one riddle for me. So know. No. Well, I mean, if we were the Sphinxes, we would not be answering the riddles, though.
I used to have the mindset that puzzles were a great thing in D&D, and that you know that they were a sort of part of the game. But I've come to think that maybe not. Maybe they don't have to. Maybe they don't have to be. They tend to grind things to a halt and
Like,
and feel very artificial. Let's do the intelligence check. Let's do that.
I mean,
yeah,
riddles just separate the character from the player like massively. If I'm playing a 30 intelligence wizard who would just snap his fingers and solve everything, I can't do that.
I was gonna say,
May-
you're not so good at riddles.
maybe the character's ability score doesn't represent their strength at puzzles, right?
But,
Ever
but
think about that?
You're
maybe
only
my
smart
background
in
is
combat.
riddle master, and then you put a riddle in front of me, and I'll embarrass myself.
I mean,
Riddle master.
that's a 13
As a
page
survivor of the
background.
riddle games.
No, really, what a character like that should do is go like, solved. I'll leave it as an exercise for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, easy, elementary.
Yeah.
Very patient. Just a Cobby Grits carrying something like, I'm the survivor of the Dwarven Riddle games. No background skill.
God, no. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I haven't found a game yet, like even like a PC game where I was like, yes, I love this puzzle. Like that. That's just not for me, I think.
I don't know. I try it, and then after 5-10 minutes, I alt tap and Google it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's a lack of patience.
yeah, but like if the alternative to something is just brute forcing it, like I don't have time for that. I can't figure it out, and
Besides, what is a puzzle? Think about it. I mean, many of the decisions.
I
we
will
make-
leave this call.
good
anyway.
night.
Anyway. We're having too much fun here.
Some of us are.
Let's,
Yes, I'm hearing all the fun gross voice.
let's proceed. Recap.
Yes, I have taken notes. So
Go ahead.
yes.
What is a recap?
What is a recap really? But no.
But a
what word?
retelling of what happened last time.
Oh god. Yes. Well, last time on the Dress of the Dragon Coast, Valignif went alone to a meeting with the Death King, who proposed a peace treaty, which we, after some elaboration, took. Every 2 years, a ritual site will be removed, and we will, every 2 years, receive one of 3 things. First, the territory that was lost, and later information that the Death King has about the ritual that could be beneficial to us, and the Chosen of Samyana was promised. Valignif arranged for Visigatrix to get some excess energy from the Black Dragon staying at the Fane, and absorb some of the power from the Elder, Brass Dragon?
Yeah.
Brass Dragon staying there himself, which gave him the distinct need to make friends with everyone. Anglespark decided that he wants a fleet, and thus asked to use some of the Gulfmere forest, which for 1 year, Imi said that she would not interfere personally, but of course, what the forest and Enclave did, I mean, that is a fight between nature and civilization. She can't really help that. She then spoke with the Dwergar and said, hey, this dragon I know really wants boats that are maybe not built of wood. And they started to trade with Anglespark again, because they make metal ships. If you hover over the Giants Run Mountains, armed mages are multiplying, for as one disappears, every 5 new come. After gaining energy, though, Visigatrix spend it terrorizing the Black Fleet of Fae, and Emmy cleverly swoops in to help and expand the Enclave. After all, undead is not at all natural, wink. And thus the Emerald Enclave builds a temple to Umberlee in Westgate? Yeah, that makes sense. Van Liggleff agrees to a free Tessir, free of Cormyr and free of his own influence, following his new compel of being a friendly, nice red dragon. And that is what I've written.
That was pretty good. I actually have forgotten about Valignus' new horrid amalgamate compulsion until you just reminded me.
What could go wrong, really?
People imagine that Yaffa will be sane when she returns, an amalgam of all your characters. Yeah.
It's just gonna be a mess.
So we have 4 currently active goal slots, right?
Yes, I believe so. We, at the moment, because last time we did, we have reestablished the giant ritual sites. We have captured Navanian, we have terraformed the Golgmere Forest, anathema the Aberrant, and we have permanently reduced the territory of Cairnheim.
Sounds like you guys are each going to take a goal slot, and then after that, 2 of them are going to be stripped for next session.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a goal.
I would guess here to begin with that you want to purge, reestablish the giant ritual sites.
Yes, I do.
Because you have literally
You're
been burning
absolutely
them.
right.
And
That
then
seems like a
also
waste
they
of time.
permanently reduce the No,
Do you have a gold sheep?
I'm just thinking here as I say it. You have reduced the territory of Cairnheim by taking away their current land.
If the DM is going to make the argument for
Yeah,
that, I don't think any of us are going to
Yeah,
stand.
I mean, I feel like that's...
I hate XP,
It's
actually.
not how I imagined it would happen.
I mean, you
That
didn't
should not be a
imagine my way
punishment,
of getting
so-
rid of Cormyr on the Dragon Tales
No, yeah,
Island.
I'm just gonna put that in for XP for this session then. And say that
Okay.
yeah, no,
Great.
that makes sense. No matter how you do the goal, if you do it, seen things like that before. Yeah, so
cool.
technically you have 3 fillable slots.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
And only one that has to be abandoned.
Oh, yes.
I have one goal that I'm fairly confident about.
All right.
I want to find a way to predict the event of amazing crafting.
What?
All right, sure.
I don't know what it was actually called.
The far realm when the stars align and
Yeah.
there's a weakness in the barrier between the prime material plane and the far realm.
The convocation of Eldritch alignment.
Oh.
Yep.
That's a good
And
word.
and the influence, yes, it is, and the influence of the Elithic god down there can be felt.
I'm gonna say that an easy goal, predict the planar alignment. No one's really trying to stop you. It's been done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just needs some copper piping and you'll figure out the rest.
What you got, Ari?
Yeah, I would like to put on a goal about destroying the blue flame portal or closing, like in Westgate.
Closing. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how we do that without destroying it, but I want there to not, by the end of it, I want there to not be a ticking blue flame bomb under.
Right, yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
Westgate.
then
That's-
let's make the goal that.
Yeah.
That would extinguish
Yes.
the blue flame below Westgate. Did I spell extinguish right?
I don't see much opposition in the way of that. That sounds pretty easy.
Wait until Melkor's like, that's hard. There's like 5 elephants sitting down there. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
You know what? It is hard.
Significant opposition.
There's
He's trying to
opposition
stop
to it,
you.
yeah. Things have been going on. You haven't been there for a while.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's been a couple of years.
I haven't been there at all.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a burst flame.
There has been a war in the underground of Westgate that you all have not been involved in whatsoever, because you are not on good terms with either of the factions that are doing it. So
The Rippers, probably, or yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know. Fuck those guys anyway.
all right, then we have another goal.
Sheep, this could be your chance to bring back learn the secrets of the tomb of Kisan Rathazar.
I wish I had my webcam on right now as I'm pondering the implications. It's something I want to do at some point. You know what? Yeah, let's put that on there
All right.
again.
Also hard.
Oh shit! It upgraded from
shit.
medium to hard.
Hey man,
We were so close.
It,
you know.
I know it used to be medium. Now it's received an upgrade. That means
I
more
can
XP
assure you
for us.
that it was not medium ever.
Hey, that's what Manikai labeled it as. Medium.
No one was directly trying to mess with it.
Poses. Great.
No one, we say as we drag Valignus' body away from the boneyard. Past the Topaz Dragon statue.
Next time, I'll try and have worked out a goal about dealing with all these goddamn wizards. That I have to, but before they fill our entire map.
They're rabbits, just
Yeah, you talk about the dangers of decoration, but
It's like-
I'm being invaded.
for so long the dragons have pondered how to have like their minions reproduce, and these cowed wizards seem to have it.
Yeah,
They figured it
like
out.
whatever you fucking.
Have a
And
major
it seems
nation
counterintuitive.
and then
you know?
conscription.
Yeah. You kill one, and more like normally that would reduce,
But you
how
know
many mages you have in your backyard.
how this works, right? Is that if you look at them now, and Besegatrix is like, does Besegatrix want to kill more? No, not really.
Yeah, I mean
So,
that's true. As
you know.
I was thinking, like the first one was like, I mean, yes, she wants to kill, but not these people right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Because that's that with the backing of if anyone really gets serious about taking them down,
Yeah,
no one really wants to.
I feel like that just means a greater food supply for you, doesn't it? They just keep delivering
not
food to you.
Not if Adam's giant fucking monster icon suddenly starts to move.
Flip this big face around.
That'd be some
Oh
shit.
God!
He just like rotated the brain.
We just without saying anything, like suddenly look at the map, like, wait a minute.
Something's
just like-
different.
Like every hour, like you just like
Kill
creep it
serpents.
closer one step.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's still that goal of you becoming a noble of rank within their court.
Yeah, maybe one could dream.
Why
I
not?
can
You're
expose
an
this guy.
Exactly. There you
Have
go.
fun
The
with the
Drow
Shadow
Warlord
Thieves,
currying
you know.
favor.
I can't wait to reveal that I'm a black dragon and fucking blow his mind.
I mean, it sounds like the
if I-
best way to do it. Like you just rat him out,
Yeah.
tattletale on him.
Yeah, that might be.
All right, New Year, adventure die.
Woo!
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see how they're
Come on.
feeling.
Come on.
Are you hoping for good or bad?
Good.
Ooh.
No.
Another
same.
clever year. They exhausted themselves in those mountains, man. Maybe some of them haven't
Yeah.
heard of this peace thing and are still doing their quest to go down under the mountain. Now without any other forces acting, they're gonna have a bad time of it.
See, I was gonna say also just like it's such an Avenger thing, right? It's like as soon as they hear there's like Undermountain, they're like, yes, let's go.
It's a
I
big
don't know
dungeon.
what is there. Yeah, there's a big dungeon.
Expected more giants.
Yeah, well, they have to go into other mountains to find those.
The lumberjack.
Well,
Yeah. So let's do a little bit of news. Again, I think it's a better idea generally to spend out around the year. I can tell you this year is not the most eventful year, but there is something that happens, and that is over on the campaign, sort of the Faerunian map.
oh,
Because it's been a while now. This whole Cormyrian Netheril Cold War has lasted a while, and nothing has really happened much, except it has now been reported that due to internal conflicts and the decisions of their own government, Thesk has chosen to abandon coalition and keep and take their forces, their like ships home. No longer really interested in total stop Sembia. There's simply too many things going on in the home. No, and really think of the profits they could make by just being a little bit shady.
yeah. I mean, that's what I know Thesk for. That makes sense.
The
There are
shadow,
neighbors to say.
the shadow is spreading and using its ever increasing tendrils to foster sort of chaos within nations, and then sort of slowly swoop in when those who thrive in such an environment rise to power. This does not make Cormyr a lot more confident. But another thing here that is overdue. Cut this bit away.
Wait, what bit?
Cormyr's influence is being reduced.
Oh, yes.
Because they are actually going to do what they said and leave a couple of like diplomats there, but pull their own forces back. The Cormyrian expedition will be reabsorbed, thus really ceasing to exist. The current king is not an expansionist king. Their former one was a legendary sovereign, a grand expander who really just inspired all the cities of the Dragon Coast to join with Cormyr. Now they have a king who's much more of a pragmatic person and who sees that as an investment of power that is not going to repay itself. The cities here are just not rich enough and just don't have the manpower to pay back the investment.
I say he's got shit to deal with.
Yeah, his whole life has been dodging assassination attempts by shadows, and now his people are worshipping Shar, and he believes that Cormyr is strongest in Cormyr. If Cormyr must stand alone, then it will. The elves of the Cormanthor forest have been fighting really for a very long time, but they have not been. They have managed to exist still. That has been their accomplishment.
Man, I hope the Chosen of Umbali doesn't work in Sembia. I guess, though, he might just be getting a lot of gold, really. So.
Yeah, this leaves Aklarond and Akanuel in a tenuous alliance here, opposing Sembia expansion. Probably for Aklarond's stance, that's as much because they're wary of Thay as it is.
They don't lie a nice place right now.
eternal trouble. Yeah. So the grand scheme thing made Severius happy. Cormyr is now being weaker, but their retraction of forces has also made it harder for him to do his harass tactics. because now there are more Cormyreans in one place, and they're much more sort of conscious of all the threats around them, rather than thinking of themselves as the world's saviors. They are fighting to survive and prosper in this hostile environment. You now get the savior of the world feeling from the Lord's Alliance that has been expanding out here. I think it's
Yeah.
appropriate that we begin
Well,
to.
they don't have an agreement with the Lignif yet.
All for trade action. And with the full integration of Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep, those the roar, they are getting more and more influence along the Sword Coast. On that note, the Emerald Enclave has begun gathering enough sort of support around that I am going to make a little bit of their green color exist like that. Exist within
Like, oh
the,
my.
it's like boom.
Everywhere.
Exist within the High Forest.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
There are druids there whose primary goal so far has been to oppose various cults of demon worshippers. Something that region seen quite a lot of, as there's active portals to the abyss within. But given this expansion of influence, I'm gonna probably just make another.
All right.
The
I dig it.
we'll call them the Northern. Just to they don't
Yeah.
have a clear line of communication here, but
The Emerald Conch. Oh.
that's all it takes,
Yeah.
man. We need more. We need more.
Gotta
Yeah.
fix this, Mr. Fix.
As a part of this, there will be discussions between them and the Lord's Alliance. Now, I don't think Imisuri is going to be directly involved in those. She's from down here, far away, at least at the moment. What would her attitude be towards the Lord's Alliance? You're opposed to a lot of the same foes. They certainly oppose demons and like really all sorts of monsters. They're just sort of the Emerald Enclave if it was for civilization instead of against. Which means that many druids feel like you could work together to sort of work on some things while still opposing each other on various. They don't go to the forest.
She's gonna have that general mindset that's so far away from her that like her personal like torch it all down like let it dissolve in the chaos agenda, just she can't push that there.
Mm-hmm.
And just there are bigger problems to worry about than these people building their buildings near the coastline.
Yeah.
This Lord's Alliance.
Yeah. Beyond that, cooperation with the Lord's Alliance will allow the Emerald Enclave to reach much further. Being enemies of the Lord's Alliance, of course, would sort of cut them into, well, enclaves really, or sort of little bits of forest. But with sort of a tenuous, friendship or alliance going on, they can travel along the roads and such unharassed and get to all these places that they would want the Lord's Alliance not to mess with, which is basically every place in here that has forest, which is quite a lot of it. The Sword Coast is not like well developed land. Yeah, so that is also a thing.
Do you want me to deduct another point or a point of territory to represent the continuing work on the dam project? Or treasure?
I think that is done enough that it'll begin to not be like so much of a burden. Like it represented restructuring, right? But that has happened, and now it's more of an expected thing. The water is being diverted, maybe into smaller rivers, like trying to keep it in the.
Okay.
Painted over here. Now.
All right.
A bit of Domo River.
All right. River canceled.
Yeah.
It still feeds the town of Cedar Spoke, but now has like a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm probably happy that there's not like crazy Fire Realm shit in it. So
Cedar Spoke is an experiment in how could people live. It's not a city under the Emerald, but it is a tolerated city because it is an example of how many druids feel like people could like reasonably exist.
yeah,
They have log cabins. They have hunters who simply hunt what they eat, and they have no attempt at taming the wild.
also I mean not under the Enclave, but I mean, yeah,
No, I mean, technically, the Gulfmere isn't governed as such. It's just that
yeah,
you don't want to, it's sort of a strong. What do you even call that? Like, it's
presence.
technically an anarchist state, right? They have no real
Yeah.
government, but don't mess
If
with
you
them
fuck
because they will band together and tear your face off.
As far as the dragon's concerned, that's Zalaznar is concerned. Zalaznar was here first. He likes to hang around there.
Yeah,
They have problems, he can deal with it.
yeah. Born.
Oh, all right. I like it. I also appreciate his successful sending out of groups, and I told him that he could pick at his own leisure to head on up there northwest.
Yeah, he's continuing to work towards basically spreading to all corners of Faerun. Focusing on the Sword Coast though, because it has a lot of wilderness compared to like Cormyr or the Cormanthor Forest. That forest is ancient, so full of elves who got their own thing going on. And south, you of course have plague wrought lands and such, and then like massive deserts, which also are somewhat fit for druids, but he's more comfortable with the trees. That's what
Absolutely.
comes first.
Sure.
Oh,
I don't see why not. The plague rot lands also bring their own thoughts. Let's not think about going down south right now.
Well, I've news of that area. Termish, you get news from Termish. They're close to you. You have enough influence that your people travel there fairly frequently. Has begun scouting out the northern part of the Wilhelm Wilds here. Well, technically, I guess southern part of the for potential locations for settlements, with the idea of logging. Akanul already get most of their lumber from sort of this border area. The Genasi have built quite the fleet, actually. They enjoy harnessing the wind. And
That's
you know,
great.
looking away from the Gulfmere, there's not a druid circle down there. There's just full of all sorts of horrible, aberrant monsters. And his new friendship with these Durgar mean that he intends to bring some of them to help him tame a bit of the forest, him to log. Is there anything I would like to accomplish
Yes.
here? It's
First,
you
first
know,
thing. The first thing I want to do is renew the policing, as I do every year. Might and sovereignty. Got a pair of 10s, triple sixes, and a pair of 4s.
Yeah.
Have fun.
yes. 10.
Do you like fast
6,
images of just like aberrant creatures being fucking
No.
devoured by
you
trees when
actually-
they try to enter the?
You're very sure that there's no aberrant activity along the coast this year.
Oh, I almost feel bad for Turnbush.
Is it along the entire coast or just where he is? Is what?
Where there's being policed, they don't find it.
Okay. Well,
Great.
I guess it's in Termish and under Westgate, just
Yeah.
like fucking Aberrant conclave down there.
The other thing I would like to do before either of the player characters interact is to bend my personal like player character's weight against the Dorogar Empire down beneath the mountains. She's interacted with them a few times now, hoping to broker deals. And I think now is the point where I want to leverage this to try and increase this clock going. Obviously, I have like psionically gifted individuals I got from Westgate, primarily like Dorogar. And I got the Keeper, the Cerulean sign here, which doesn't count for the clock purposes, but they're here. But I think that among the Dorogar down there, there's got to be adventurers who want a taste of like what's life above here, the taste of beating up people and looting things, and exerting their power upon the non-psionics of this world. And they're the types of folks that she feels like she could use to expand her reach and the Enclave's reach abroad against, say, other nations. It's harder for her to like wield the Enclave in that regard, but the Dorogar adventurers, like some groups in there that would want that, I think she can. So I think that's what she's going to spend like her work. Not so much the Enclaves, though I can certainly make a company role, but like her personal work, like trying to like make progress on the clock to entice Dorogar adventurers to come to her.
So adventuring is not something their culture has done much, because they've been hemmed in on pretty much every side by enemies, which you can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
On that regard, though, mercenaries is something that Dorogar culture does a lot.
There we go.
Like, pay someone to go kill people. That is a... They do that, and though these guys are particularly snobbish regarding non-psionic people, they look at Angler Spark and they know he is beneath them, because he does not have the mind of the cosmos that their goddess gave them. He cannot turn invisible at will. He cannot turn himself huge. Their psionic sort of natural powers.
But Angler Spark is huge.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
The psionic dragon needs mercenaries and is willing to pay them. More importantly, I think that could be an affront. Like, they don't really like they don't like sunlight. But,
sure. Israeli just wants them to get used to the idea, so that carry on this relationship for like a decade or so, and maybe she can expand it further from there.
Yeah. You can work on that. I do think I would like a diplomacy check to really like.
Sure.
Basically, I'm gonna compare it. I'm gonna compare it to an easy, moderate, or hard DC for your level.
Okay.
To see if how they. That's
a DC of 40.
Oh boy. Yeah. So how does give me a little flavor wise. How does she go about this?
Yeah. She will head down there, and I'll just go ahead and do this like a flavorful thing. I'll deduct a point of treasure from the Emerald Enclave. She comes down bearing gifts from the surface, a representative like things like she's imported from like Naflan, and things that she's imported from like abroad, and like Termish, and things that have been smuggled in through Westgate, as an example of like the luxuries and like items that you could get access to on the surface that the Dorogar Empire down there may have never seen, like at least like in the lifetimes of these individual dwarves. And use that basically as an explanation, like she has enemies, not just among the far realm, but abroad, and they are inferior to psionically gifted individuals, such as herself and themselves, and she seeks capable individuals that she knows that she can find down there, so that she can wield them. And in return, any mercenary bands or companies that come join the service will find rewards in some fashion. If it's not food, or it's not goods, or it's not these luxury items, they may take it in other pleasures that they may be able to pursue that they can't simply find down where they live.
Yeah. I mean, she makes she is allowed to visit their queen. Yeah. A powerful psionic Dorogar, who accepts these gifts, listen, and will probably take time to speak to Emissary further. I mean, they require like translators, right? But actually, I don't know. They might just speak telepathically,
Okay, that works.
which they enjoy when they can, you know. My question here is, you're impressing them. You're doing it, right? You have done. I mean, a 40 beats them out of the water. So what kind of people do you want to attract more? You want to attract their sort of religious fanatics, people who are incredibly into the psionic supremacy, or are you looking for more pragmatic mercenaries? Now, the latter,
Pragmatic.
of course, might need to be paid more or get more like loot and plunder, while the former probably are harder to make work with non-psionic.
I think the pragmatics are what she's looking for. She's seen examples of like their religious like dogma at work, and she feels that they would be harder for her to flex into this weird sort of psionic amalgamate that she's attracting. Like, how are they going to interact with, these other entities I'm pulling towards me? Whereas the mercenaries, they still have that grounding in psionics because they're Duragar.
Yeah.
And she's got money to spare.
Yeah, I mean, with this goal and the investment, I think we can mark another step on this clock
Okay.
towards because I mean, there's a lot of them, right? You've made a good deal of it. They listen, they're interested, they like what they're hearing. That.
All right. That'll take care of me for now. Let the other players act. As Invy's early to fear spends time back down in the Underdark.
Where she would never go, she thought.
Hard times.
This part doesn't have Aberrant in it, specifically.
That is a good point. That is
Oh, on the giants. It mostly has
She really
water,
knows how to choose her Underdark.
water, like big Duragar slave camps and whatnot, but nothing that really has any problem
But
with
they're
a
not
dragon.
gonna. Yeah. They're not gonna care about a dragon. Well, I mean, they do care in a good way.
They like to own dragons, but that's not really, cards.
Who wouldn't? The dragons would like to own dragons.
Yeah, sorry. Is there anything else you all want to do early in the year before?
I mean, early doesn't really matter, but I would like to get started on that sooner rather than later, which is to build like the, I don't know, astrolabe or whatever was used last time
Mhm.
by the Azer to predict that event.
Yes.
I reckon he has a vague idea of what to do, considering he saw it done last time, basically.
Yeah.
I guess Veristrix did most of the heavy lifting there, but
I mean, it would be an Arcana check to figure out how that could be done.
Surely there are some books from the Temple of Agma that could help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many, and Leofred can figure this out himself. Surely, maybe not.
No, you can. That's enough.
All right.
You're
Not
meeting
that
the same
difficult.
DC as a spelling effective. A little higher because I combined the multiple successes you needed. But yeah, you can do it. Beyond that, you also remember that the hags, the hag coven, had some knowledge of it. So their predictions are somewhat unreliable compared to an actual calculation.
Yeah, you don't want it in poetry.
On
Whence
cold,
the
hard
leaves
numbers.
fall.
Their ancient purpose for the giants was to maintain a coven of sort of self-replacing hags whose task it was to predict these events. Yeah. So that the giants could make use of them.
How nice
Yeah.
of them.
That, of course, stopped much before you actually met the hags. Asa was simply a remnant of what used to be down there. He can begin that construction.
All right. Do you have more sheep?
Not early in the year, I don't think.
All right. I would like to send scouts. Like when we left the boneyard, whatever that place was, we saw the like flicker of blue light in another tunnel. I would like to start investigating, like down there, or
Just
sending troops, I should say, not
Just
me.
go diving into. All right, so you're doing a
Espionage.
Yeah, I'm
Being
thinking.
informed.
So no one is trying to hunt you specifically,
No,
but I think
I mean,
it definitely has a minimum difficulty.
sure.
So why don't you give me a? Yeah, I mean, I guess espionage is the most sensible goal for
Influence and treasure.
for
I
that.
was gonna say, I mean, I
Uh,
would rather do being informed,
You're
but
going against a difficulty of 8 to figure out what's
wow.
going on down
That-
there.
That makes sense. Your people are trying to follow your directions to get down there, and it sounds really bad what's down there.
Yeah, you know. The thing is that the signatures wouldn't know. You know, we know that because the gold suddenly fucking
Well,
turned up.
You know, from based on where Cicatrix ending up there, like a decade or so ago at this point, like personally, when her body was being crushed.
No, yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's true. I mean, she's not kicking in the portal like, go have fun, man. Actually, well,
Of
all
course
right,
not, but these are
espionage.
like individually like people, and you know, they're weak-minded. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how they're useful, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know that mortality's weakness is one that should be abused.
I will give you one bonus die because you have such you have basically the night masks answer to you, the new night masks, and they
Yes.
are a lot of the bad things down there, like traps and tunnels and such, were designed with vampires in mind by
Sweet.
the former night. So take a bonus die for it.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
Aha!
well,
Double
you
10, double 9, double 7.
Whoa!
Get
don't just do it.
fucked.
You can get a report and not have anyone know that you did it
Yes.
with that because you beat that twice.
Thank you,
done. All
Yeah.
right.
vampire spawn.
Your hobgoblin vampire reporting back that there seems to be frequent attempts by Aboleth to investigate and move through the watery tunnels, which have been vehemently opposed by the Thayan Enclave in an underground sort of war of attrition. The Thayans seem dead set on opposing the Aboleth, and it seems the more Aboleth show up, the more they focus on that goal.
All
Hi
right.
there.
Well,
You rolled so well. I mean, they did it. Going down, you'll say that the blue light that you describe, and sort of, I mean, it's almost impossible to make a map of this place, but under the keep and such, many of the tunnels there are severely haunted by various specters of old. Some of those emit a bluish light.
they're blue flame ghosts.
Oh, not blue flame, no.
Oh,
Almost like a blue misty presence. Old hair. Haunted figures. They have little to threaten vampires with, though. Say most of them were scholars who helped build Castle Delavar, the sort of main castle of Westgate, and who were then subsequently buried under there, so that they could not reveal the secrets of the castle, only for them to haunt it and in the previous times have been coerced to reveal everything to the Night Mask, allowing the Night Masks to basically run the place.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
If you're looking for some blue flame thing, it probably is a bit further down than likely through some of the submerged tunnels.
Yeah.
You also say, when you're in there, they have to every now and then dodge, like the Thayans have taken a policy of, well, this place is flooded, let's just fill it up with zombies. Then, that'll clog it up for any aboleths coming this way. Undead are good at fighting them, they can't be mind-controlled, so... beyond that, some of the upper parts have Thayans. I mean, these tunnels are vast, and there's so many of them, they can't patrol all of it. But you might find gnolls, an apprentice wizard, people patrolling around looking for trouble or signs of any activity. Yeah, they are very invested. Almost as if they thought the aboleths had something to do with some powerful Thayan rebels that were in this region for a while.
Yes! Oh my god. Pleased. But also, they might be busy this year, so...
I don't think either Wasicatrix or Missouri Leaderthier know that
That's true.
Faye is about to be visited by a rebel assault this year.
Yeah.
Unless
I think that...
Malignant has told them.
You had no reason to.
I think that Wasicatrix would just be like, yes, keep me updated, and, good job.
I'll say, Sethiston has not been down there. As when he saw, when he swam down in the tunnels one day and saw an aboleth, he was like, no.
Yeah.
I almost died, like, a bunch of times. I'm not getting that on me. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's completely fair. He does have a mind he can lose.
Probably wouldn't want the Abelethic sovereignty to know what Zephiston knows either.
No. No. I think Wasicatrix might go on the party line and ask whether Emissary still has knowledge of aboleth poison.
Nova Crew will answer and say, my greatest apologies, Wasicatrix, but Emissary Leaderthier is down visiting the Duragar Empire beneath the Orsron Mountains. I do not know when she will return. Is there any way I might assist you? You can almost hear like his scraping and fawning like grin. Like
Yes. Well, you have in the past acquired or made, well, your faction, the Emissary's faction, aboleth poison. Do you have a formula?
Of course. I mean, I was personally involved in it to some extent. I do recall some of the details just fine. It was a combination of my ingenuity, the were-rat's tirelessness, and a spark of don't know what from the Archpriest of Talona. Certainly, I could assist with anything you require on that front. I do live to serve.
Right. Well, then please put that in motion.
How much do you require?
Wait, what they made last time was for one aboleth?
There was one aboleth. It was something that Emissary Leaderthier started back when she lived in the Warm Hill. It got halfway completed. Then it just sat for decades. And then when she asked for her minions to revive it back, as Manikai described it, a bunch of were-rats got together and were like, shit, where is it? Where did we leave it? Then she punted it to the Archpriest of Talona to ask for her help in finishing it. It got finished. And That's how that happened. And yeah, it was for one aboleth. It was pretty effective, as you may recall.
Yeah, I know. How much? How much will we need? Uh,
You can be most confident that Novacree remembers every important detail about it, and will surely cater to your dragon's every whim.
yes. Well, I think that I don't know, 5, 10 times whatever they made for one.
Hmm. And when do you need this by, Mistress Versicatrix?
As soon as possible.
Very well, I will keep you updated. How would you prefer I contact you?
I suppose through the sending stone, if your mistress allows.
Yes, the command word is something she had to teach me so that I may respond for her in her absence. If that is what you desire, then it can be done.
Thank you. It's like, how would you like me to contact you? It's like, well, I would like you not to contact me, but I also need this, so I suppose.
The messaging stops, and I imagine Novacree is now like, how did that work? Probably like scratches his head on top of his beautiful like tower of light.
Yes.
All the were-rats who are responsible fucking dead by this point.
And long gone.
Yes. Yeah, I will be willing. Like, there will probably be some material costs that that will need to be. I think the Cicatrix would be willing to spend some of her faction's money for making sure that it gets made.
Aquatic creature, like permanent.
Yeah.
What will the price be? How long will it take? I do not know the answers.
Yeah. That's the thing. Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
What will the price be? How long will it take?
Yeah. You have connections who are decent at this. Now, last time, it utilized the blessing of Talona, which is not something Versicatrix currently has access.
No.
She could make something that would be, annoying to aquatic creatures.
Not aquatic creatures, aboleths.
Well, they are aquatic creatures. Generally,
Yeah,
these things are not easy to singly target. So, aberrant creatures generally are just weird. Last time the poison was certainly for aquatic.
Okay, well,
Might somewhat include Versicatrix itself. Yeah, but it really depends on how much power you want. You can make something like that would kill a fish tank very readily. Something that would kill an aboleth, or like at least very much inconvenience it. More difficult. Beyond that, it in a quantity that I assume you want, if you want to like pour it into the Suez Westgate continuously.
Yeah, you're right. That is exactly what I want.
You would need a lot. Like we're talking.
Good. I'm working on it then.
A few tons of the stuff, to make that happen. You need a major chemical manufacturing.
Chemical warfare is not illegal in Faerun.
So you tell Novacree 5 to 10 times the amount, which is not tons.
I was gonna say there's gonna be a call up when she's done the calculations.
Like if you could put it in a pool, you could do with a barrel or something. But if you want to just pour it into the sewers, like it very quickly gets spread around into a drop in a lot of water.
Yeah.
Which makes it not so effective. So research is one thing, development is another. Now you're looking for and this Rain actually has this, we haven't really used it. You're looking for a one-time asset, something you can sort of dump and then get
Yes.
a bonus, and then move on.
Sure.
Yeah. How would we do this?
What I want is less aboleths, so that when we go explore, we don't have to fight 10 aboleths on our way. That seems like a bad time.
Hmm.
I'll get my people to clog up some tunnels if needed. Like
Maybe the Call of the Dragon has the right idea and just becoming undead.
You know, I've looked at the Dracolich sometimes. I'm like, doesn't look that bad.
Oh,
Also,
where did
traditionally-
that guy where did Manchun go anyway, right? He wrote the Book of the Dragon, and then he sort of went off the radar for a bit after the fall of the Centaur.
I'm sure Vargo the Faceless, if you just reached out to him, the Will Dragons would be a help.
Yeah, but he has pet dragons. I don't. Like, can you trust someone who is like brainwashed dragons? I don't know.
That's
You
remember.
never
I-
use
I-
the word trust in relation to your character.
That's true.
I feel like there was consent involved. I mean,
The Cult of the Dragon is famously led by human wizards,
yeah, also that.
not by dragons
Yeah.
ever really.
Yeah.
Just bring up all the trigger words.
You remember the
Yeah.
I mean, you remember
They
who
like
wrote.
tattoos also, man.
We pretty much have it confirmed that Yaffle studied the Book of the Dragon, and many of the methods
Yes.
involved in ritual is from that, and that was written
yeah, there's
by
like
the
little dog ears from when she
That was-
had the book in her hands.
little notes.
Yeah.
Did not work on Vesicage.
Yeah.
No, but
She wouldn't know her name. Don't insult me.
but uh,
I wasn't that
that
important.
book was written by the founder of the cult.
Yes, who was a completely stable individual, I'm sure.
All right, so
So
contemplating.
Yes,
What do I
I was
pay?
considering. I think we are looking at. Is Vesicage doing this personally?
yeah, sure.
All right. And
I mean-
wanting to.
Why? Yeah. She has the newfound energy, for a little bit, and
True.
also, I mean, she dabbles in the arcane. Now that she doesn't have to establish ritual sites all the time,
Mm.
you know. And more
Yeah.
importantly, while pondering what to do with all these goddamn mages that keep showing up, she's like, let me throw my attention. Like, surely she, like Emissure would say, like, that seems like someone else. Surely it would just solve itself, right?
And you'd
What-
like. So last time the idea was to really annoy the Aboleth, like make it really uncomfortable so it would leave. Like that was sort of the purpose. Is that
Yeah.
what you're going for again? Or do you want to like do something else to it, like dry up the slime, hurt it in some way?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to hurt it as much as possible, but I also don't know the cost, right? Like, I can't pay like 1,000 gazillion gold. So, like,
Yeah, I mean gold is definitely gonna be involved, something like that. But
that's when, like I mean, yes, I would like to kill all Eboliths forever, but
yeah, I just wanna temper your like I have to figure out how hard it will be to make, and that of course depends on
Yeah.
what you hope to get out of it.
Let me see if I can help it. Ari, what do you want to do with it? What's the goal that you want to accomplish with it?
I want to make it possible for us to go down there and shut down the portal without, being flooded by
Aboleth
Aboleth.
slime. So you basically want what you want this to be is like to dissolve the Aboleth slime, much like the poison I ended up having, which is
Yeah,
a combination
probably.
of my were rat's work and my work, and then a blessing from Talona, where it just broke apart all the slime. That way,
Yeah.
that if we go beneath the tunnels of Westgate after the tomb, or you go down there in some sort of exploratory mission to find the portal, that we're just not like smothered in slime.
Yeah, that seems like it.
Yeah. Yeah. that sounds possible. You have the notes. It's been done before. I don't think the development will be as difficult as the production of a large amount of it. Now, of course, if you could get the help of Talona, you would get it more potent. But if you can't, then you can make do. To at least dissolve that slime. Could you give me a nature check? I think developing.
Oof.
Developing something like that.
Yes, let me open up my character sheet here to look at my.
You're level
Great.
22, so the modifier is going to be plus 11. I don't know what your wisdom modifier is.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? I think it's probably plus 11, but I will check.
Alright.
Maybe I have a plus 1. I mean,
Sometimes I make checks at plus 11s.
yeah. God, it doesn't feel great.
Sometimes I make checks at plus 7s. I have an armor check penalty of -4.
What?
Yes. I know, right? I'm a dragon. How do I have an armor check penalty of -4?
I can't live that life. Like not even on my sword mage. I'm like, oh, I could go to hide armor and get like just a -1 to my skill. I'm like, no, I refuse. I
It even
need
applies
these
to my
bonuses.
endurance check. It's sad.
Yeah, my sword mage has like plus 25 to endurance. Disgusting.
That's more than my dragon with 27 constitution. Anyway, what's your modifier?
Yes, let me. Skills is right here. Nature, no, yeah, it's flat 11.
Well, there you go.
Right.
Glad I could help.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you get the notes that Premier Monsieur, and you look at them, and they don't really make sense to you. There's a lot of references to
No.
plants and such that like hasn't heard of. Clearly made by someone who was very competent at what they were doing.
Yeah.
And this is not.
The
No.
dragon cross-referenced her own natural understanding with like knowledge from the Ogmites about like Aboleths, because she had asked them, inquired about like the written weaknesses of like these aberrant creatures.
So basically, you can't do it yet. If you want to
All right.
invest time in it, basically have your dragon just mainly focus on doing that. The Cicatrix is high enough level that you can figure it out, right? Given time. You're not trained in nature, I understand, so
No.
it's clearly
no.
not your forte, right? You will have to find a book and then probably follow that as best you can.
Yeah.
Like someone solving a complex equation without really knowing math. You sort of have to find a tutorial and then sort of.
Yeah.
It might be better if you found someone else who could assist you in this matter.
Well, I mean, some of these enclave people, like Perstrix, a gardener, so he would know about plants, I'm sure. Hopefully.
Well, he mostly knows about fungus and locusts. He loves locusts.
Does it need that? I
You
mean,
don't know.
Yeah, I think Perstrix like scratches her own head, and then there'll be like another message for like Mystery, like, because she can't directly command her people without like,
You're gonna get Novacree back, because if he's really just gonna be at the Torkar Empire.
God damn it.
Because that's where she's devoting her player character time.
Yeah, there'll be like another message, Hey, Emmy, when you get this, just, give me a call back. I want to make aboleth poison for aboleths. If
Novacree's like, I provided all of the notes that my Mistress Emissary Lidrathier made during that time. Is there something amiss, Mistress Wisicatrix?
Yes, they don't make any sense.
That is unfortunate. Perhaps
I agree.
my Mistress Emissary Lidrathier communicates in a different fashion.
As she looks down and there's like all these plant words. Yes.
If you seek her personal help, I will make sure to inform her when she returns, though, as I noted to you upon your previous communication, I do not know when she will return.
Yes, well, thank you. If you have someone who is perhaps more knowledgeable in this kind of work.
I only command the Grand Temple of Malar in her absence. I do not yet have sway and power over the Enclave itself. I could not direct anyone over your way.
Yes. I'm sure you'll get there. Uh-huh. Yeah, still hang up.
Just waiting for the,
You know,
I could direct you to the, head druid of the Enclave.
Yeah, like yeah, he could facilitate a connection if you want to have a conversation.
yeah, fine. I mean, yeah, then Vestigatrix will, throw herself into that project. Surely nature words are not that hard, right?
Mm.
She worked out the fucking old ritual bullshit about tradition and giant
Yeah,
runes.
It
Like,
only took half a decade.
yeah,
Yeah.
she could do
Cut
this.
to
Maybe,
Vestigatrix walking through the edge of the gold field with a basket, like, what is this? Is
Yeah.
this what I'm looking for? Is this?
like a dandelion.
Yes, I guess I might need this. Which type of grass? There's multiple types of grass?
Yeah. Grass?
I could probably just substitute this one. They
Then she
look the
found out
same.
she couldn't, in fact.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be a
Vestigatrix likes making poison.
well, I mean,
Giggling to themselves, putting bad stuff in a cauldron.
only if it works. Like, it needs to be, bad for people. Otherwise, it's not at all interesting.
Well, I mean, the key thing here is you want it to be bad for Aboleth slime, but not
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
Right? That's the hardest thing. You can make something that's just very unpleasant for anyone, but
Yeah, but I want. Yeah,
you want to swim in the water that you poison.
Vestigatrix learns a lot about what she doesn't like poison to be like, I suppose. It's like, surely it'll be alright if it is. No, dip in the toe, no. Not great. Yeah. I should
Yeah.
spend our time
Um.
alchemying.
Well, then all the dragons are occupied doing stuff. As time will begin to move on. Where does Vestigatrix? Oh, Malignant built this device.
Probably in his own lair, actually. Like, there's no reason why it has to be at the Fane, and there might be a little spite involved. The good old Mr. Death King maybe has his own method, but it's not going to make that easy for him. He's going to be able to spy on the Dragon Fane again soon.
Yeah, the calculations are easier if you're there, but given Malignant's level, he can probably figure out to calculate for the distance.
It's not that far after all. Just sort of far, I suppose.
Like 100-ish miles.
Does he have to add like an extra variance for the floating island moving?
Yeah, I mean,
An error factor?
There's a lot of calculations to. If we have learned anything, it's that Malignant has learned patience. He does things right. Yeah, Vanaya has indeed taken over Ophistheric's lair and has promptly coerced several harpies to bring her food. And, feeling more confident now that she lives on a floating island and has a few more servants to pay tribute and whatnot. Hobby's happy to oblige rather than have an angry red dragon. I mean, they are food or they provide it. Yeah. Yes, you will. You will find out at the. And now I want to give you a number of years rather than just the year. Let's see here. Planar alignment will happen in 10 years.
Okay.
A little early from what might be guessed, but there's a decent 25-year variance plus minus basically. Halfway through the year, sort of in summer, a thing will happen, some distance away, that doesn't really make it over here. Quickly, but you will learn about it later. That apparently the entire coast of Akinor had a visit from a black, massive iron pillar breathed in sort of tentacles of colossal octopi sort of stuck to it. And it decimated their coastline in a major way. Sort of multiple cities have been just vanished. This is somewhat upsetting for
Yeah, I agree.
a lot of people. The inhabitants of those cities have been like taken out to sea. The mists were thick, and Akinol thus has very much immediately now abandoned the coalition to defend Sembia and withdrawn all their fleets to home. This was far more brutal than they expected, and certainly far more aggressive and large than any other attack of these villains. Very direct upon them. Had the order of the keepers of the Cerulean Sign not been relocated, they might very well all be dead from this strike. And beyond that, Akinol, like the capital of Airspur itself, saw a bit of struggle with the apparent sleeper agents that had infiltrated society. Though the flying nature of the island and of capital city that's flying on Earth modes made it difficult for their enemies to really get them. That said, many of these places, like the drowned land, the ruins, are called this actually because of this event. So they are drawing further into the mountains with their forces and getting more aggressive than they have been in the past, shutting down their current trade and borders, fearing that outsiders also might be influenced by the Apollon. They much like Cormyr right now, are withdrawing to protect their own borders. This was a devastating strike. It's like hundreds of thousands of people been vanished into the sea for whatever purposes they don't know.
I can't wait to meet those minions.
Yeah, and of course the people of Akinol are fairly competent, most of them capable at Genasi with various powers. Their queen is the Queen of Storms. She's definitely looking around her to see what could be done to secure the future of her nation. Because if this happens again in like a bigger wave surge, then that is a level of existential threat from the
I think, despite the Emerald Enclave's typical like neutral like attitude towards civilization, I think some sort of like form of like I guess financial aid or like relief is going to be sent for like refugees, like an assistance for like those folks who've like lost their homes and their livelihoods and are fleeing to the mountains from the Emerald Enclave towards Akinol.
Yeah.
They were visited horridly by the Far Realm, and I think the Emerald Enclave, understanding that horror, is going to reach out.
It's a good gesture, but at the moment, Akinol will refuse it.
Okay. Obviously fearing the whole sleeper agent thing.
They trust their own people above all right now, and are withdrawing their diplomatic ties they have made with other nations. They've always been aggressive and sort of domineering, but yeah, right now they're pulling back. They've been hit hard enough that they're reeling. This
Sure.
leaves Aklarond as the only member of the coalition this year, still having their ships in the Dragonmere, and they don't feel super great about it. The various mage houses have to worry both about Thay and about now Netheril. A lot of evil mages going around, and the good ones have, well, neutral ones at least, have some trouble.
Well, I mean, all mages are really evil. That's what history teaches us.
Yeah, on as a note, Yenka will later inform, offhandedly, it's not like it matters to him, that Aklarond has begun inviting any sort of Thayan exiles looking for getting away from Thay. If they want to come settle in Aklarond and then bring their arcane expertise and whatever not, then they, this might be the good chance. They're looking to bulk up a little bit, and maybe old Thayans are not so bad compared to the new ones. At least the old ones are alive.
I was gonna say, yeah,
At
they
least
are,
they
but
are
not for
alive.
long. And you won't be either. That's
Being
like your
alive
open
is a big
statement.
plus.
Not a lot, Yenka will say, are taking them up on this offer, though many will see it as a way to escape should this attack go badly, since they're right there.
Yeah, I'm sure that Saz Tam will look upon them with unforgiving eyes if he finds out that they're spreading those news.
Good old Sastam. I mean,
Jolly fellow.
no one really know how strong he is, right? Like, he's not really done anything for so long.
Well,
Doing
no.
his various arcane rituals and whatnot.
I suppose really it wasn't that hard to take over since most people lost their magic.
It was
it
was the right time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to bully mages if they don't have their magic. As it
Sastam
turns out.
was allegedly both forewarned about the catastrophe, and had thus found a way to avoid it entirely. So almost uniquely.
Midsummer is when I'm going to say Emizar Eleuthir returns from the Underdark, getting a Nova Kree's extensive notes on Vercingetorix,
Spam
as well
calls.
as the assistance that he provided, and Emizar Eleuthir uses the Sending Stone. Probably doesn't immediately, because she also receives reports that Vercingetorix has been the western forests, hunting and packing for things.
I think Vercingetorix every day has been poking at the ring, hey, check what Missouri is, and it's
where is she? Shit. Contemplates teleporting to her. No, better not.
Oh, she's not going into Underdark. No.
That'd be really awkward if you just fucking teleport.
Yeah,
I might not be able to save you.
Stop.
What gifts have you brought this time, Emissary Eleuthir? Black dragon appears.
Oh, a black dragon! A pet!
Delicious.
We do want to enslave dragons. This is good.
Yeah.
Just think of how many plows it could pull.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Emissary Eleuthir will use the Sending Stone to reach out to Vercingetorix, and then if there isn't an immediate reply, she'll see where Vercingetorix is, and if Vercingetorix isn't in her lair, she'll just teleport to Vercingetorix.
I mean, I would say that she's there, but it would be more amusing to have a scene where Vercingetorix is out scouting for plants.
Sure, we can have that.
Yes. Looking at it.
Just idyllic, midsummer, sun's beaming high in the sky.
The moonshade, does that mean it needs to be plucked, that moonshade, or is that just a flower because it's white? I don't...
Then magical energy swirl and the green dragon just pops into existence next to the black dragon. Her leaders here wheels her head around to properly get acquainted with her surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, Vercingetorix is out with the basket again.
hopefully isn't alarmed. Too bad.
I think she jumps. Again, like this startled cat, like, oh!
Exactly like last time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that Monsieur Leaders here, though sharing the same color as like a cucumber, is a bit more scary. So
Probably, yeah.
yeah, and she'll like squint. Emmy, well, hello.
Maybe Israel Leaders here, like, looks at where Cicatrix, and like her like mouth opens, like she flashes her teeth and they catch light just so. She observes the black dragon and the lack of scars and splotches upon the skin, the scales.
Yeah, I've been exfoliating.
And molting.
I got this new tonic, is great for my skin. No.
New scale
Uh,
cream.
Yeah. Dude, I think Vesicatrix just like looks and feels uncomfortable. Like this is really beneath, like, gathering goddamn herbs. That she should not be doing that, but none of the people know anything. And
Says, "Good day, Cicatrix. I returned to the Grand Temple of Malar and noticed that you had reached out to Novacree and acquired my compilation of notes I made many decades ago about aboleths and how I might inconvenience them."
yes, I did, though I have not had much luck trying to understand. I am afraid I don't have much knowledge of plants.
No,
And she like squints at like a dandelion.
no, I imagine you are more acquainted with your aquatic and semi-aquatic swamp life than you would be for what I aim to do.
Yes. I have talked to you before about the blue flame in Westgate. I sent
Yes.
scouts to, well, try and narrow down the location and found out that there has been an ongoing war between the Thayans, who of course think that there is a tie between aboleths and rebels, and said aboleths underneath Westgate.
It is a good way to occupy Thay. Their attentions are drawn inward and not investigating us. Our deception plan has continued to work beautifully.
Yes, but, well, there is also greater and greater efforts being made from the aboleths to reach the blue flame portal. And, well, I would like to be prepared to intercept or even destroy it before they do reach it.
I understand. And so she like pauses and says, "The poison I designed was targeted in nature for a smaller, for much less water in what you seem to be wanting to cover. I do not know how vast Westgate is, much less its underground, having only been there a brief period of time."
Yes, and what a time that was. It's a scowl.
My work, then, is not precisely what it is you're looking for. Perhaps, however, I can adapt it for you.
There's like a, like, that
And-
would be lovely. And there's the dragon is just like feeling pathetic, right? Like, this is, goddamn it, she can't figure it out. This sucks. It's like, she's got all this goddamn pent up energy, and it just reminds her, like, you can't use the energy. It's just banging your head against the wall. Like, is that fucking? You don't understand.
Sure. Let me see here. They're my notes. Do you want me to make a nature check for trying to like flex into like what she's looking to do on the scale before she can get into development, Manikai? Or no?
Yeah, if you spent some time just trying to help.
Sure. Give you a nature check. Let's see here.
Save me, oh Grant, Mr. Legiothier.
33.
Yeah, you think it could be done. We'll have
These
some
are leaders
ideas
here.
for how.
Spends a 10-day then with Versicatrix, explaining the nuances, and then when Versicatrix doesn't get those, breaking them down further instead of just like insulting her like an asshole like Cloud Giant would.
Yes, the Versicatrix is. I mean, imagine that this is the process of learning. It's odd, really.
The Cloud Giant's way of teaching was to say something, and then if you didn't get it, say it slightly slower again, exactly the same way.
Yep. As the younger dragon takes an opportunity here of relishing of power to like educate this older dragon on like the natural world and how things work.
Poison.
Without there's no smugness there. I mean, Israeli Juthir, for her part, still has forgiven Versicatrix for everything, and chooses to enjoy being in the Black Dragon's company.
It's like a conscious choice. It's like when you visit family, you're like, all right, well, I got to be a decent person today, I suppose. It's just like, yeah,
It comes easier to the Green Dragon than it is to the Black Dragon.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you need someone's help, it's just hard to be an asshole. There's a little note in the Book of Grudges being added, like, and it's not very conscious. It's just like she knew something that I didn't, and that's very annoying.
And Versicatrix knows that Emissary Legiothier knows that, but Emissary Legiothier doesn't say anything.
It was very annoying. It's like, she was very understanding, yet that just made me feel like she was making fun of me. There's no winning. He did everything well and didn't make fun of me, but I feel like that just cemented how bad I was.
He's gonna
Yeah. At least, she'll be sitting on the sending stone, ready to intercept any gossip calls.
And then after the 10-day, Emissary Legiothier departs and returns back to Golthandor.
Yeah. And, with that and the time already spent on... you could figure it out.
Just imagine she just got like a recipe and a shopping list.
you can make Aboleth Slime Dissolver.
Great.
It is localized, which means that the place you dump it at, unless it's like flowing water, it'll sort of stick around there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
For exactly 10 hours.
Great.
It will mostly dissolve Aboleth slime, like the thick mucus will become like a very thin, just white bubbles. A large amount will, it doesn't cure infinite amounts, but if you dumped an equal amount of it to slime in a pool, it would do all of it. Or put like
right. Yeah.
10 to 1 then.
Sweet.
Let's not worry too much about the dosage, though. For your purposes, that'll work. Each time you create a portion like this, it costs 7,000 gold pieces.
Okay. I can't pay it through my faction, I suppose.
No, you have to do it. It's simply too specialized for that.
Fork it over. Yeah. Well, I'll go to my money document.
Just look at your B-apiaries. Why can't you help me?
Why don't you care about destruction of fucking Westgate?
It's a good thing you and Sheep got all of that gold from the palace at Nathlek.
Yeah. Hey. That was hard to watch. Like, I remember, like, the fucking, like, smacking this, like, Mr. Leader enjoying smacking the fucking, I was like, man, are we the baddies? Like, oh no.
It was very cathartic. She gave them every opportunity to live or cooperate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely, just like, oh god, we're bad guys. I was like, oh.
Thoroughly cemented the new rule of the Jade Hall.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn it, shoot.
oh,
To explain to YouTube and the stream, I posted a gold pile from the game Divinity. I believe it's Divinity Original Sin, where after you loot it, it's still there, but it says it's empty.
yeah. That is pretty
This
accurate.
this dragon treasure is for, aesthetic reasons only.
It's chocolate coins, actually.
Painted wood.
Gold sprayed. Ugh. All right, yeah, 7,000
Yep. Component
is
cost.
removed.
Dose. You have 1 dose. You can make more if you want.
Yes. I will make more. Yeah, I think she would also want to, like, now that she has that, right, the next step is trying to investigate whether there are some, like, I suppose the water flow, like, trying to figure out if she could clock somewhere up to make it more effective, like, temporarily.
Like you're gonna just dump it like a bunch of doses on one thing. I mean, for this purpose, what it does is it gets rid of the slime. That's the problem.
Okay, no, yeah, I was just
Let's
like,
not think
you know,
too
I don't
deeply
want
about the
to
logistics.
just throw away. Like,
No,
I am.
I'm not going to be the
yeah.
worst about it. Presumably,
Yeah,
you would
like,
use it
you know,
if you feel like you get close to slime.
Yeah.
Dump it.
yeah. I
don't have
just
to worry
like,
about
I was like, okay, good. I don't
You
want
get
to
to-
like, I don't have enough money to pour out 7,000 gold. You know, every 10 hours. That's not.
I figure you could probably get it done in.
I hope so. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Basically, just go murder some people and try to forget
Hmm.
the experience of learning, being mocked brutally by the green dragon.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen. But...
The Church of Bane has begun gathering, basically extorting caravans coming from Westgate, traveling along this road, to build up and bulk up their treasury. It seems like they're somewhat in a hurry to acquire funds. People in Tizir don't feel safer for that fact. As the Comerian hand has been removed, they too are beginning to prepare their war chest, so to speak.
Could I do a spiral to try and figure out what that's all about?
I don't think you need to. Church of Bane would
Oh.
like to rule a city rather than a keep.
Ah, yes.
It is the Lord of Tyrants. So,
Yeah. And Red and Seer has literally nothing but the keep that they rebuilt.
yeah.
And Tazir has everything they have there.
With
Yeah.
their tenuous alliance with the Red Wizards here.
Mhm.
Westgate
all.
is sort of out of their reach, so why not the other one?
By the way, I love this as some sort of great scheme that works out in Valignus' favor, where the Church of Bane takes over Tazir, and Valignus just like shrugs at Cormyr, like, well, I
will
gave him a free Tazir.
liberate it.
Yes, then he can swoop in and liberate it and gain
No,
control.
he'll swoop in and chat with the Church of Bane.
They are holding an aspect of Tiamat.
You know, a lot of unlikely things have happened in this campaign, but considering who Velignov is and what he intends to do in the some future, allying with the Church of Bane is going to be difficult.
That's-
gonna say
there would be some points of tension.
Got like 10 sessions, and that's how the Cicatrix became a Red Wizard of Thay.
yeah. Yeah, no. The only point of of agreement is the boldness, I think.
Sheep, do you intend to do anything with your faction this year?
To be honest, I was considering attacking the Church of Bane.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I might put that on as a goal soon, like next time.
I've been like mulling about like the idea of like giving them a threat from the Emerald Enclave, but they just haven't been like big or important enough for it to matter. I also don't think it would end up being like a goal for you guys, considering like how weak it is. I think like you could just like if you wanted it done, they're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it would be pursuing a bit of that Tiamat angle.
Absolutely.
To see if they know anything. But now I'm tempted to wait until after they aggress against Cordelia.
Right? You're like, well, maybe they can weaken themselves. I mean, for Visigatrix, it's like, I didn't invite these neighbors here. They need to get fucked.
I just love the idea. It's like Valignus being like, I mean, like I talked it out with Cormyr, and Tazir is a free city, free from their influence. So I don't see why I would interfere.
I think in this case, Valignus wouldn't know that the Church of Bane intends to attack Tazir. He's not paranoid and observant as Visigatrix is. Like he wouldn't care about that. But I, as a player, of course, find it convenient that
absolutely
Valignus would get wind of it once they do attack.
Okay.
Yeah. There's of course also knowledge that at late sort of end of summer this year, they's gonna be having their eyes everywhere but here. At a unique moment, perhaps, should you desire to do something against they will not, like, you will just have to deal with what's here. Their portal will be thoroughly facing the other way to bring people back to deal with whatever rebel attack is going to go on. They take that threat very seriously.
The flip side from a metagame perspective, they're the ones hunting the Abelos beneath Westgate.
Yeah, why do you think I wanted to make? I was like, oh, wait a minute, they've been no, no.
Yeah,
I need them.
They're doing it for now. Though if they get another tick on their clock, they will take into the red of actually understanding what's going on, which means that basically they'll understand that the Abelos have nothing to do with what they're looking for. So yeah, for now, they've been doing it and researching what the connection could possibly be, and they will figure out soon that there isn't one.
What? But the intel was so good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Visigatrix is not aware that they'll be busy. So, again, she's played Scout, but other than that, like
speaking as a player, I think our threat first and foremost is Thay. We've talked about it like throughout the course of the entire campaign. If Thay actually figures out what's up, like it was just one Archlich, and then the Giants win rounds. We will like hellfire will be rained down upon us. I think removing them from the Dragon Coast when they are distracted in the fall, which we will discover when shit changes in Westgate, and Valignus already know about. I think we should act upon that. Okay, I was just curious. That's why I asked Sheep.
Yeah, for now, just sitting pretty.
Very well.
There is something Valignus would like to undertake, though.
Okay.
Like, individually. Which is to pay a visit over to the good old Emerald Enclave. Specifically, of course, Emmy, who he hopes is available.
Yep, she's there, having returned after her 10-day with Visigatrix, and it's, after the midsummer festivities. Those are
never answers the phone when I call.
Oh, Valignus not calling.
Valignus does not... What do you call that? I suppose he would ask whether Emmy is available through the Sending Stone and then not elaborate why he's asking, unless he is asked why he's asking. And then he'll make his way there.
Okay. Sure.
He would not arrive alone, and as he will bring Yanka with him. Of course, she doesn't really get a vote on that. Nor will she be told why. He will also be carrying a large sack. It's clearly visible as he's approaching like the various buildings of, I assume, like the Temple of Malar, where Emmy usually hangs out.
The satellite structures which support the immense Aztec like step pyramid. Emmy's really just there. Doesn't like wait on the summit. When she sees like Velignith in flight with Yenka, she will fly out to a landing spot like by the coastline.
I'm curious. Does he have Yenka on his back, or does she fly herself? He has the power to sprout wings.
Probably not as quick as Velignith. Nah, he'll carry her. Why not?
And
with Yenka also will come the book, of course. In this case, maybe not, of course, but in this case.
He's early just here, like flies to the coastline upon seeing them on the horizon and waits. And as Velignith draws closer, like her eyes like narrow as she squints up at Velignith, and like she nods in understanding, without really understanding what's happened to Velignith, but she knows enough. She's felt it.
Velignith will circle once and then come in for a landing, being very gentle with the big like leather sack he's carrying. As he touches down, puts Yenka to the side, sort of a gesture for her to just wait a bit. So Velignith will approach Emmy, give her a nod, and say, "Hello, Emmy Zereli Drafir."
To what do I owe the pleasure, Velignith, High Priest of Tiamat?
Velignith pauses. I suppose that's a title that's appropriate for me. I consider that. I come to, well, quite frankly, just see what you're up to. Because I realize that while we're all doing our own things, there's so much left unsaid, and it bothers me. And besides, I had a thought recently. You, of course. Well, you are aware that I'm aware that it was you who returned the anvil I lost a while ago. And I thought I'd return the favor in a sense, although I don't know if it will have the exact same impact or use. As he'll sort of gesture over to the bag.
Missouri tilts her head quizzically, looks at the sack.
Like nudge it over to her.
Missouri leader here, like steps closer to like take the sack. You want me to open it now?
Sure.
Missouri leader there, like opens up her Christmas gift now.
The sack is full of like half a dozen very large bird eggs.
Oh my god! I didn't dare to hope.
Missouri leader here, like stares at the like the proffered food, like in there. Like delicately like takes them out of the bag and places them on top of the bag, one at a time. Looks up at Velignith. Thank you. This is a much more pleasant gift than Fisterlix gave me when it was twigs and mud and sticks from a swamp.
It's all about the intention, I still think. Besides, I'm not done yet. I've got something else that perhaps is slightly more significant and useful. He pauses. Although before I get to that, I had a thought recently. Now that we've figured out a way to prevent the lethargy from weakening us as it did before, do you think the same way would compensate for one of us dying?
And the Israeli says, you understand more about that than I would, as you have a greater mastery over not just arcana, but divinity than I do. My sphere is natural magic and the elements. It would be a desperate gambit should one of us perish. Utilizing the essence of another. She looks over at Yinka and back to Velignith. Have you told her?
Not in so many words. She doesn't need to know. Genka is standing far enough away that they can talk in private.
Yeah, she's just standing obediently over here.
So Velignith says, the question was somewhat rhetorical. I'm almost certain it would work. And I've decided that I would let you borrow Yenka and her skills so that she may teach you, or one of your choosing, exactly how that works.
Legier says, all right. There is one whom I would trust with this knowledge, and it is someone Yinka already has familiarity with. So there should not be any complication on that front. He is very capable of his craft, though. She looks over at Yinka. Not as capable as her.
Wonderful.
As to what I've been doing, it has mostly been arrangements against the entities of the Far Realm. I have this year been beneath the Osran Mountains, meeting with the Queen of the Duergar Empire of Dunsparren. Is securing the aid of mercenaries that I may end up wielding. They are intimately familiar with the machinations of Illithids and other aberrant creatures down there, and the ones I've secured will have few qualms about operating here on the surface in exchange for what I'm paying them. You are far enough away that you may not have heard what happened with Akanul, a country east of Termish, whose coastline was devastated this summer by the menacing Black Obelisk.
That is interesting, I suppose, and I would like to know more about it, but it's also far enough away that I don't think it's my problem.
I agree. It is not. It will eventually become my problem, which is why I'm taking steps to prepare for it now.
You've been traveling back to the Underdark. I don't think I expected that ever to happen again.
I did not expect it either. However, they are very effective and knowledgeable about psionics. So few creatures around here are. I've gathered what I could from Westgate, but it was basically entities from the Underdark anyway. I've also gathered a group from Akadul, who most certainly would have been exterminated on the attack. I've saved them, and they dwell in the nearby mountain ridge before you get to the Osran Mountains.
I see. Whatever happened to your plan of capturing the Avatar of Nabanian?
The desire exists, however, the entity is so powerful, and she pauses and says, I'm fairly confident, based on what Malar has told me through imagery, I can see my every move. And so I still struggle with how I would surprise it.
Well, you'd think if it knew your intent and was as powerful as you say and knows your every move, it would have surprised you at this point.
She says, it could not travel that quickly.
If it were so powerful, then surely it would at least come here and destroy what you hold dear. That's what I would do.
She says, it is not capable of doing so.
What's preventing it?
Malar.
I suppose that makes sense.
Malar is currently stronger than Nobanyan. And she, gestures at the Grand Temple, behind her. Nobanyan exists as a corrupt, spell-scarred entity, less than the god it once was. Still an incredibly potent adversary, which is why I have honed my expertise against aberrant creatures, making sure I am not far removed from the dangers of the Blue Flame.
I see.
Those are the preparations I've taken for myself. But as for any ways to ambush or trick the Avatar of Nobanyan, again, I'm firmly convinced, and have zero reason to doubt, Malar would lie to me on this, that it can see my every move. Most likely not hear my every word, but I can't... She just sort of, rolls her body in the equivalent of a shrug.
Well, sounds to me like you've got everything under control, or shelved for the time being.
She says, I cannot take action against it on my own, and I suspect I have some years remaining. I anticipate it will remain there. The only complication that could arise on that front, she narrows her eyes, would be the arrival of the Chosen of Sylvanas. But that's probably not for another decade.
Probably.
Probably.
Well, it's been nice.
She says, have you given any thought to how we would sacrifice the Avatar of Nobanyan to Tiamat once I found a way to subdue it?
I've given it some thought, but obviously I don't know the exact specifics yet. I suspect we would have to deliver it to a place of significance, perhaps the Dragonfane or elsewhere. Actually, Villigov turns around and gestures for Yenka to come over here.
Sure. She has at all times her hand on the, probably like a holding that holds the book. It has not strayed from her since she got her hands on it, pretty much.
Yes, we'll ask Yenka. Yenka, let's say we were planning to sacrifice the corrupted avatar of another god to Tiamat. What suggestions would you have for location and procedure?
Just for a moment. And says, that would depend on your intended reward for such a thing. To grant Tiamat such power would be impressive, and whichever place you chose would be forever marked by that ordeal. A place of significance, such as the Well of Dragons, or perhaps even the Dragonfane, would become more so a place of significance. I would be more worried about where it is, in regards to Tiamat receiving it, and more that such a thing would doubtlessly be opposed by, it seems like, those on a cosmic level wishing for that not to. Likely somewhere defensible.
So basically what I just said.
Doesn't know of it.
Miss Early sure bobbles her head. Does very well. Should it come time for me to act against Nobanyan and where he dwells, can I count upon your support, Valignith?
It would be strange for me to bring up that topic and then say no.
It would be rude of me to assume.
As I've said before, am of course always there to help.
I know. Still, it is polite to ask. Desires change.
They do indeed, but quite frankly, one thing hasn't changed. Desire, for me, that is. And while there's a lot of things going through my head recently, one is at the forefront. And as you very well know, I don't usually trade in favors, but perhaps if you're feeling particularly cooperative these days, I would like to visit Westgate again. It's underground, the tomb that previously didn't end so well, but I'm more optimistic this time.
Jesus. I am willing to help with that idea. In fact, Wisicatrix has been developing, and I do not know if you two have spoken, a means of dissolving Aboleth slime for a time, seeking to traverse the underwater passages beneath the city. There seems to be great activity down there between the Thayan Enclave and aberrant agents, undoubtedly seeking not just to fester beneath the city, but also seeking the portal which exists beneath there.
See?
In that instance, as it now appears to me that you two have not spoken, you two have subconsciously aligned. I, of course, would agree to return there to Westgate.
It is a shame that it is Aboleths and Thayans. We don't really like either of them, I understand, obviously. It would be nice to ally against the Thayans, but with Aboleths, I don't think that's going to happen.
Veristrix chose that path, and her normally friendly voice grows cold.
Well, not ally in that way. But if we have common goals, there's cooperation. Could have been cooperation possible if it were anything other than aberrant Aboleths. If it were just other people, for example. You'd be surprised what a simple talk can solve.
She says, "It is an impossibility. I am baffled you would openly discuss that, knowing it is impossible."
Yes, I'm simply airing my thoughts, lamenting, as it were.
If he's very leader blinks rapidly a few times. She hasn't gotten this aspect of Malignus before. She's reassessing. He tilts her head again. Says, I can return Yinka myself, unless you plan to pick her up. For how long can she stay?
I something will turn to Yanka. Yanka, you will be staying here for as long as is needed, and you will teach Emmy, or whoever she chooses, everything about the ritual you've used. You know the one. Whatever restrictions I put on you, consider them moot as long as it is Emmy who suggests that you should ignore them.
Just that ritual or the contents of this book?
You can decide that yourself. I'm not too bothered.
I'm going to go ahead and do us all the benefit here. If he's religious here is absolutely dumbfounded. It's something like Valignant would say. She's just totally has not fathomed this reality existing, and so her brain is hung up and like stalling as she's trying to process it.
Then Yenka will give Inisuru Lidothir a bow and says, I shall then do my best to be of good service while I stay here.
Of course, Yinka. She looks like to Yinka like briefly, then back to Valignith.
Oh, that's not the right way to roll.
And it's now she's like trying to process like what like this ritual could have done to Valignith that would cause him to like be different. And so she's thinking about how like she changed, and then she's like thinking about how like Recicatrix changed. And then she's thinking about, she has Valignith. What dragon did you find for the ritual performed on you?
I find that question to be rather irrelevant. It's the results that matter, aren't they?
Oh, just idle musing. Much as you did with finding an alliance against Thaons.
Yenka glances back and forth between the dragons standing, behind Valignith.
Well, I did explain my plans regarding how I would tolerate the use of this ritual before, as all the 3 dragons involved in this were, of course, involved somewhat voluntarily and got the ritual was used as an introduction for those who would take over the administration of the Fane.
Right, you wanted their consent and you did not wish them slain.
Yes, perhaps not for the purpose of being kind to them, but in retrospect, that seemed like the right thing to do. And
Yes.
you will be happy to hear that I've found 3 candidates, one of which has assisted Vesicatrix.
I noticed in my meeting with Recicatrix.
So everything is solved.
That's good enough for me then, Valignith. Would you like to stay? The meals can be prepared. They already have. They always are. You can rest here for the day before you traverse back to your home.
Oh, if you insist, I absolutely will take you up on that offer.
You are always welcome in my lair, Valignith.
I did not get that same impression in the past, but I'll believe you.
She says, she like points at a claw and says, someone retrieved you from that cage wreckage.
Why, yes, although a more cynical Red Dragon would assume that it is mostly because if I were to perish, you would suffer the consequences. Of course, I don't think that's really the case anymore in the future, considering the amazing power of this ritual that I still don't quite trust.
Emmy's early dear begins to put the eggs back in the sack and says, yes, I do need you. But I could have also just not cared for you, as I did.
True.
Come, Yinka, I will reintroduce you to a certain individual who will be delighted by your appearance. She leads the 2 to off from the coastline into the satellite structures. Novacree is going to be the one who's put in charge of learning this ship. He is an entirely trustworthy sort. She's also the most capable individual she has on hand regarding this.
God damn it. Vesicatrix is gonna have to learn from Novacree?
And, like, really, anyone else who would be suitable has somehow been sent away or had an unfortunate accident. It's really baffling when you think about it.
Sadly, there has never been a mage that, studied with Novacree who survived long enough to surpass him.
And besides, Novacree and Yinka already have familiarity. It's a perfect match.
Yenka has had students before. Plenty of them.
I'm sure she's a good
Harsh.
teacher.
A harsh teacher.
Uh, this
That
helps to
said-
make up for
that
his
said-
rough attempt at learning Thayan.
Way back when Nova Cree was an adventurer, obtained draconic power is literally what he wanted. So seeing this book of how to obtain draconic power, you know, he probably would go a distance for that knowledge.
Yep.
Maybe even more eagerly and hungrily than Yenka ever would. He's gonna have to find himself a dragon and then like take all its power so he can become a half dragon too. You saw
Yep.
Yenka when she wasn't, now she is. So.
Yep. You know, and what he does with that knowledge that Imi's early teacher doesn't know anything about, that's not her fault. Imi's early teacher knows Nova Cree's wishes. And, you know, has somehow found a way through serendipity and happenstance to make them occur.
I mean, to him, this is why, you know.
Yep. That's why.
He's finding his
The-
hard work is being rewarded in Book of the Dragon.
Yep. The
Even though
promise
Yenka's
is
not gonna let
servitude.
him touch it, you know.
Yep. Imi's early teacher will make sure to stress, though, that Nova Cree should play nice with Yenka. Attempting to wrong her in this instance will not go well for Nova Cree. Even in his dream scenario where he takes the book and flees the Grand Temple, I don't think he wins.
Yeah, well, he never was wise, but cowardly can sometimes be substituted.
That is the old Black Dragon saying, you know.
Good. That's right. Because Imi's early teacher also understands his cowardice at this point. After
Yeah,
these
you know.
decades.
Just
All right, yeah.
All right.
We'll take Yenka. I'm gonna make some of these tokens a little smaller, just so they don't look out of place next to her.
I wasn't used to any other small icons visiting my small icons, so
Yeah, there we go.
Just a huge pile of characters and also like 5 emissary leaderspheres here. 4.
A dragon.
yeah, I mean, it says right there that it's not a dragon, though. Like, I-
It's,
there we go. I'll
I'm
shrink the
convinced.
icons. All right, great.
we'll work with Nova Cree to teach him the. Well, Nova Cree's magic is different from Yenka's. He's a
Mhm.
sorcerer, so you know, there's some differences. Though I think her half dragon transformation probably gave her access to some draconic, draconic power.
Which is great, because if he has to teach the Cicatrix, which I want him to, she's also sorceress. She's not.
If
The
there's
wizard
anyone
is-
desperate enough to find a way to learn this technique, it's Nova Cree. I fully trust his
Yeah.
capability.
Yes, I mean, I'm sure that it will be utilized in the future with consent from all parties.
All right. Is that all, sheep?
Yep.
All right. Guess we're passing to autumn then.
And it is then that. Well, I mean, it's not like there's
Actually,
gonna be.
before that whole thing kicks off, I think Villeneuve during his stay here would like offhandedly mention that whole Thayan rebellion thing in the presence of Emmy.
Oh.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Emmy's early theory would then like note that if we're gonna like revisit like Westgate, it should probably be this year then, while they're distracted. And certainly with that in mind too, also have our forces try to kick the Enclave out of the region. Basically push them back to the portal and break the portal. Destroy their fleet or seize it, so that if they want to come back here again, they have to come back here again. And can't just teleport here.
That is certainly what Villeneuve was thinking as well.
You cannot be compelled into friendship and conversation with the Thayans. I think we're perfectly safe.
No,
What if we
I
were
was
just
thinking,
honest?
like, how
No,
can't we just talk this out?
no, there's
The
no.
friendship part of this is teamwork between you and your family. Can help you
There you
bond.
go.
Yeah, but the green dragon, you see.
Yeah, normally, because the Thayan Gate exists there, like, you won't just have to deal with these guys, but also these guys. The whole nation of Thay can sort of wield their power there. But yeah, there will be a good month time after this attack where they will not care whatsoever about Westgate. You know. And of course, during the attack, where they will be very distracted. Yenga can pinpoint it somewhat. She can be in contact, really. It's hard to be exact. We definitely tell you when they're planning to do it. Go from there. On the day should be fine. The people in Westgate are probably gonna stay there. Like, they're not gonna take the Nulls back, but they're not gonna send anyone else. Most likely, probably just gonna shut the gate to ensure that no one escapes through it.
All right.
Oh,
Could go ahead and use territory and sovereignty to increase might this year. That's 6 dice. That does get done. We'll deduct a point of territory and increase might back up to 5. I will then use treasury and sovereignty to see if I can increase influence. As I expend money to make some arrangements for some favors. There we go. That'll be 6 dice for that. That gets done as well. Okay. Influence is up by 1. And I'll deduct sovereignty by 1 point. Yeah, it's a bunch of mercenaries that we've brought in, part of our influence. People who don't understand the network.
is the Cicatrix told about the Thayan?
As soon as like Valignus like goes home, if he's early Legion is gonna be like, wait until you get a load of this shit. It's like tell everything.
It's like, yes, Valignus, we're great friends. Oh my god, we're Cicatrix. And she can still see him flying, so she knows he's not by the setting stone.
So
What's
you like
your
this whole
point,
thing that
Ian?
you were planning for like investigating like
teleports it.
Westgate. Like, just I'm not teleporting. Fuck you. You won't fucking just like fly past him after like teleporting. But they're like so like you know how you were planning to like do a thing beneath the Westgate? Well, Valignith is too. And it's revisiting the tube. And not only that, but in autumn, all of Faye's gonna be distracted. There's gonna be some sort of sneak surprise attack. The Enclave is gonna be cut off from the rest of Faye. It's gonna be delightful. We're gonna fuck him up. And then we're gonna go raid a tube.
I needed to know that because now I will also base my might. So this is I need some of those goblin pirate ships again.
Also, it's probably going to be a while until Valignith actually leaves.
Oh wow, that was a waste. But I do raise my my might.
It's raised, yeah.
It'll be a while until Valignith leaves. He will be clingy and talkative, talking about the good old times, reminiscing and all that stuff.
Well, Emmy Allegiance here is 100% not the dragon who's bothered by that, and is perfectly willing to challenge the social repartee from Valignith, because every moment of it teaches Emmy Allegiance here something like a new facet of Valignith. And conversation is her way of exploring that.
Then I imagine they will have many long talks.
Like she shares her thoughts about civilization and how Nathlan and its condition has forced her to reassess like its total destruction. That there may be a place for it in this world.
On Nathlan specifically, or like places in general?
Places in general. Like she's continuing to observe the city of Nathlek and its continued survival. And thus far, they've impressed her.
They like dragons, turns out.
Not knowing about the Red Banner host.
I mean, I don't care about the Red Banner host because with the time these mages are multiplying, the road will be blocked. So, you know.
Would Emissary learn anything from Valignith about all his talk? Like anything, this chance to share something he might not normally.
I mean, the thing about Valignith is that he doesn't really keep secrets in the first place, so there's very little to learn. And he has talked about like his perspective, like the Nephilim thing. He would probably be like, "Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. That place now feels right now that it's like under your control as it should be, and that's just how how every place should be, really. And it's not like they are suffering; they're probably like prospering under new rulership as is to be expected. So everyone wins."
In that case, it's not what Valignith is saying, like it's not any new revelation, it's how he's communicating with her in a way that he never has communicated with her that ends up telling her a story.
It's creepy.
It's not creepy for her, it's just it's
No, she likes
fascinating.
it.
It's like again, like this is the correct dragon to wheel and deal with socially.
Like, remember, Besser, how things were back then. Why didn't we get along better?
She does still have a fondness for that Bone Devil, even after all these.
They had very opposing views back then.
All of them wanted to escape the lair and fought with the Imps, and she just was the favorite.
Yeah.
She knows she's doing that Bone Devil proud.
Certainly is growing powerful. That's his job, right?
That's right. It prepared her for this success.
I suppose there's one thing that Amy would learn that William hasn't talked about, like in the present or the other dragon before, even though it's not really a secret. It's that him and Vanaya are actually a pair.
He was early to be like, who?
Oh, never mind. Red Dragon visited.
No. Now, like, if he's early just here, it's like flying like this total like social character. You tell me more. I'm curious.
Well,
what's up?
You see, there was a Red Dragon who came to the Fane looking for sanctuary, and I suggested that the moats to the west are actually quite nice, and things,
All right. Navi's early just here is delighted for Valignith. Right, and assumes that perhaps this is partly what sparked the change in Valignith. Oh, it's another red dragon, but maybe this new perspective has changed the feelings that he so often acts upon. No.
Maybe his anger is just reflected, sadness, and now that he's happy, he's not as destructive. That's probably what it is.
He's not the angry one.
No.
And at some point then, Yenka will come after, she's probably organized. She assumes that she's in charge of Nobakri, the teacher. She believes that that's something she has to be. She cannot tell him what to do, then she can't teach him.
Yeah.
So his sitting room has been turned into like a school room, basically. Blackboard and a desk.
She fucking takes over his tower.
Oh yeah. No, that's
his like weird throne. She sits on it, and he has like a like one without like a back, so he can.
The thing is, he's a weird Eladrin adventurer sorcerer, slash sort of Brazier, and phone
God.
answering guy for a dragon. She is a Thean, Tharchan's apprentice.
Half dragon.
Who has been exalted by the high priest of Tiamat to a
You're
new
describing like some sort of like impossible romance that's told like in a novel.
Oh. They bonded over the Book of the Dragon.
Oh
Both,
no.
both moved their hands to turn the page.
Oh, as I understand it, student teacher is a
Oh boy.
popular fanfic, so it's just putting it to work.
No, but she will come and inform you, of like it's gonna happen this day. Like 2 weeks hence, it's when it's happening. It might go well, but she does not think so. No one has tested Sastam's power, and I mean the Thean rebels are knowing that. They are not expecting it to go in there and defeat him. They're going in there with the intention to disrupt everything Sastam is doing. They know he's preparing for some grand rituals, and this will be a raid to basically disrupt it. Like, remove his progress, burn his books, smash up his laboratory, and ideally get into the phylactery room and just, like, fireball everything in there. Do as much damage as they can, and then get out. He's fantastically paranoid, though, and will likely use his considerable might to hunt them. Thus, there will be some time. And really, the rebels are very happy with anyone making use of that time. Of course, he will say, if you act at the moment when this attack happens, you can expect them to not have any reinforcements at all. However, in hindsight, they might figure out that you knew.
Yeah.
Have this knowledge, which would indicate you have been working with rebels. Now, they know that there's activity of us in this region. They just don't know what nature it takes. She will not presume to tell you whether it's best to act immediately or to give them a little time and then act while they're just distracted, but not like immediately panicking about it. Because it's not like they're going to show anything. The ones in Westgate, they're going to bluff their way completely clear. No one who isn't in the know will notice the difference.
Well, I mean, at least the marked have already targeted them last year. It's not suspicious if I beat them
Are
up.
you literally trying to explain to someone who's paranoid and like build a justification? What the fuck, Ari?
This is just saying.
No, bad.
Yeah. Anything is implicating. So, when are we going to act?
I think I'll act day of with unconventional warfare.
Okay.
I have a 10 dice pool I'm willing to risk being discovered in the process of it. Whether you guys want to wait a 10-day, I can't say. You're cool.
Yeah.
I'd probably recommend like waiting a 10-day,
Yeah.
before acting openly.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to utilize the Fane here.
Probably openly, Valignith coming for like the sequel on Westgate.
Yeah, but Medicae, what would Genazar's opinion be on this whole situation if Valignith were to explain it?
Would
boy.
Valignith
How
explain the
much-
full
What's
depth of your relationship with the Thaans?
No, just that the Thaans are going to oppose him. Don't ask why.
I mean, he doesn't like the Thaans at all. They're
Wonderful. Okay, let's stop there. Let's stop there.
the Thayans are bad people.
Exactly. Good. All right. The Thane goes to war.
Like,
We light up the forges.
No. With my one territory.
You can deduct from sovereignty.
Oh yeah, that seems like a great idea. My thought was some time ago like 2 sessions ago, we talked about additional assets for both the Thane and the Emerald Enclave. Did we finalize those, or did we just like
we
exchange
haven't
ideas
yet.
there?
The exchange was because there are things that are happening as the Emerald Enclave is spreading its influence out across the land. They will naturally gain connections, and as the Dragon Thane has become more and more established as a place, where dragons meet and have influence, they will begin showing up.
Okay, but it's not an asset yet.
No, it's becoming one. Perhaps when these other dragons actually wake up and sort of begin doing things to show that it is not just a single dragon's place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's when it'll really kick off, and we'll begin have visiting for dragons that I'm not going to find tokens for them. There's just not enough good dragon pictures. But when you sort of think about it, there's probably a dragon living in the Stormhorns, probably in the Sunset Mountains. There's some, definitely in the Troll Mountains. Like they're around. A lot of them are just like not very social because it's dangerous to be.
Yeah, all right. I think I would still like to use influence and sovereignty here to, recruit some of the tribes. See if there's more like enemies of Fae, like suddenly asking, like, "Hey, you wanna do something for no reason in particular at this exact moment?"
Hey, any enemies of Fae? You're asking for a friend.
Everyone in the room looks so. Yeah, I mean, influence could also be like drawing in some of the dragon friends.
Yeah. Basically, just people who would be willing to do this. I'm not sure about the exact methods. Just
I mean, he wants manpower, and
yeah,
probably some adventurers who are aligned with the Dragon Fate 2 now.
Oh, those sound amazing. Yeah, let's get those. Double Falls. That sounds like adventures, right?
Right now it does. They spend so much time in the area, just like, yeah, I mean, I think Tiamat really, she's not that bad. I think she just gets bad rep.
That's why the adventurers, why they're so weak now. It's because either they became like cultists or they died and became undead. So,
yeah.
Well, I guess they became like people living in Thunderhome.
Let's do that one more time. No, okay.
So I'm sure. What's the argument for getting the Emerald Enclave involved? Is it just like they are undead people? That's bad.
Yep, like Thayans have long been an adversary of the Emerald Enclave, not just because they're undead, but they're penchant of the usage of ritual magic. And since Zaztam's taken power, she has it on good authority that he is attempting another ritual over there in the east. And while that is going to be resolved by other agents of a third party, now is the time to remove them from this region.
I don't think there's a lot of opposition to that, really. No one in the Enclave like the Thayans.
As I say, if there's going to be anyone who wants to make an argument for that, by all means, I would like to hear them.
A druid in a black cloak was like, well, I mean...
No, it's a red cloak. I don't think they're that bad.
Let's ask us, what would Cindermoon think?
Yeah, gonna have to have Zalazar investigate that individual.
Really infected with Aboleth slime.
Yep.
Thresh him up.
Yep. Why do we dislike the Thayans? What have they done wrong? That's the argument. As for the approach, you mentioned last year because of all the attacks that the Thayan fleet moved into harbor. I think unconventional warfare is going to be used against their might to torch their vessels.
Yeah. All right.
Send those sinister operatives out to work against the Black Fleet of Fae.
Sneaking through the water. That's where rats do.
That's right. I am capped at 10 dice. So we'll go ahead and throw 10 dice. That's triple nines and double ones.
Okay, so which one is success? Which one is secrecy?
The triple nines are the success. The double ones are the secrecy.
I figured. Let's see here. Get my sense for. I'm gonna put this thing.
I will deduct the garnered point of influence.
We need to use might and sovereignty to actually policing. Absolutely.
I am not making use of adventures here.
Yeah. Wait for the
I think
best.
I'm good.
They charge through and attack into Thay. Attracting the attention of everyone. Alright, yeah. They will, naturally try to not have their ships burnt. Keep it. Right now they don't know the full extent of what it's just local forces though, not the actual might and sovereignty. Good enough though, they'll uncover who's doing this.
Yeah. Good. Let them know the people who oppose, like, undead and unnatural and ritual things. No, as she declared many years back on their first visit that she's coming for them. I deducted my point of
Kind of
influence
perfect
lost.
having last year established suddenly a temple.
But was it just... Yeah, no, it wasn't just last year, of course. After all, the Thayan Enclave hasn't been paying their tribute to Umberlee. I'm sure. They haven't been paying enough. It is the nation of Thay.
Didn't pay for the whole thing.
Yep.
You can find documents easily when you're being unreasonable.
Exactly. From there, I will then use unconventional warfare against their territory, looking to then damage the harbors in places they have, like Knoll Station, that they would use to then repair vessels, so that they don't have a safe place to hide from the Mark's ships.
I mean, some of their forces use just like the defenses of Westgate, the city guard, and so forth to defend. But yeah, they certainly also have like their own
places,
complexes.
their own boards. Yep, go ahead and do that. That'll also be 10 dice. I'd normally be at 11. Okay, triple 9, double 3. Triple 9 for the success, double 3 for the secrecy. Wink.
Yeah, that's just gonna get through. It's they're occupied. They're busy. There's stuff happening, and now this at the same time. What's the implication there? Yeah. You strike, smashing up like their docks and breaking the infrastructure they've been using.
Okay.
Out their positions.
All right. I think that'll be it from the Emerald Enclave for now, as the were-rats slink away, the sinister operatives. Wait the 10 day.
Yeah, they will inform the Westgate City Guard to get ready for be on alert. You. What can you do?
Yeah. Mazer Leaders here will report, will note primarily to Vercingetorix that her minions have torched a number of the vessels of Black Fleet of Thay, and also torched their like little repair areas to force them to out of harbor and into the water.
Yes. If she was checking her ring, how Vesicles felt, she's feeling great.
Good.
Good news.
Yeah. Have the Mark gone to Westgate?
I mean, I don't think we left since last year.
Yeah.
Where we, you know.
Hanging out more like the south where the Temple of Umberlee is.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's not that they're there, but they're in the area, you know? I don't think it's a secret that they were bullying them all last year, you know, like...
No, it was not.
They would have been coming for you if not this whole attack thing.
Yeah, well... I have a question. Do we want to do, like, the faction stuff first, or do we want to go into the tomb? Because it seems like we are sort of planning to do...
Let's go ahead and take care of the faction stuff and
Okay.
then like
Yeah.
whatever time's left, we can like then head to Westgate. But it sounds like what we want to do down there is going to be a separate session of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do the faction stuff first.
If you want to kick them out, you would also get rid of the chance of meeting anyone up down there.
Yeah, I mean, that is appealing.
I figure breaking their might and their territory should be the things we focus on. The territory resembles like them losing the portals, we smash it, and their might being that we kill them.
Yes.
That'll be their 2 scores to 0.
Another thing you'll have to do is to actually get rid of their Westgate control.
Yeah, they can keep that.
That is right.
Sure, they can control Westgate.
Last time I did reduce their money by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Their treasury has been
don't have
permanently
that much
reduced
money.
by 1.
Yeah. Have
Actually,
they
it's been reduced
recovered?
No, they haven't had time.
So, do we just need to reduce 1 more, or
What are you
like
talking
do we
about?
just in the terms of faction, like is
like,
or they're just at
they
1?
recovered to what they have been.
Okay, good.
They were
Yeah.
permanently.
Yeah, they were permanently reduced, but they still have a positive treasury number.
Yeah.
It's lower than yours, but it's there.
It is, which means it's useless to rate them. For me, anyway.
I can tell you. Beyond that, they currently have the reduced stats of having been fighting Aboleth a lot. So, if you wanted advantages, now is the time.
Great. I mean, yeah, there'll be a little time, and the Mark will start their terrorizing again, I think. Are there still ships to destroy in the Black Fleet of Frey?
Yes.
So I can battle on water?
You could, yeah.
Yes. I do like that is great news.
The asset, it gets you.
Yes, finally.
That's pretty spicy.
I assume you're attacking might, yeah.
Yes.
You'll succeed at that. Overwhelming more of the ships. Who are calling for reinforcements from the actual city, the enclave that's in the city, but they're receiving
static.
Just hold on. Everything is as it should be. There's nothing to worry about. Just fight harder.
Do you know?
Which is the kind of responses that makes a Thayan wizard leader of a boat go, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Fuck you.
This does not seem...
I'm flying off of this boat.
Bye, fireball behind me.
I mean, I see no reason not to continue.
Oh, boy. 4 8s, 2 6s, and 2 4s.
Goodness.
Is a lot.
they counter.
Oh, yeah, you'll do it. You'll smash more of them.
Great. I should say that Resigatrix has been taking part of this. Even when I was capped at 10 parts, it's very important to me that you know that.
I mean, obviously, like, she's fully healed and restored now. 0 scars. She wants to be
Yeah.
visible and spotted again.
Well, also, I mean, it is Faye, like.
Yeah, she wants to be visible and spotted.
Plus, she
The
should,
very-
like, if not Umberly is here, she should be the Pirate Queen here. Like, as a representative.
The very awkward moment when the drow isn't marked anymore.
No, the
Oh.
drow is still marked.
Double 5, double
There's
1.
the chance. Counterattack.
Yes.
Counterattack.
It's not great.
There's something to tell you. They have an expert die, which they will set to 10. Double 10, double 5. So they foil your attack.
Use one more. Eek. That's not nice.
As one of the Red Wizards doesn't flee when assaulted, sensing perhaps an overconfident enemy at this point, takes advantage of it.
And the goblin pirates, like, panic as, like, the red wizard
Yeah.
flies over their ship.
Death.
Now it's pirate zombie goblins.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the Westgate City Guard is gonna go and arrest some of these marked. This is he's out of control.
I feel like the guard may be busy with.
Will they though?
I mean, the guard can
yeah,
take their
obviously.
action, but the person who comes to defend them, they actually end up being the Dragon Fate.
Excuse me, they're attacking your might. Double 8.
Can the Dragon Fang counterattack?
Sure,
This
yeah.
attack?
You're assaulting the actual city at that point.
Yeah, it feels appropriate that like the Magda against the Feyn mostly, and the Feyn against the guard.
Sure.
Does Villeneuve takes part in this? Like he would like to talk, but he's tried that. So his 25% Red Dragon can take over for a bit. So that gives him 9 dice.
Yeah.
Double. That's not gonna do it.
That's not gonna do it. Strike hits the marked might.
And you'll lose a point as well for the failed counterattack, Sheep.
Yep.
Although you could try a defense area if you want, or a counterattack if you want.
What? Yeah. What's the defense again?
Defending
might
is
and territory.
Sovereignty.
might and territory. Counterattacking would be might and treasure.
Oh. Well, I've been losing a lot. Sovereignty and territory for defending?
No,
Might
no,
and
so-
territory.
Oh, might and territory.
You don't defend with your people's fanaticism. You defend with bodies.
That would.
I mean, with 4 dice, you could just take it on the chin.
Yeah, I don't think I can do anything about that.
All right. The Dragon Fang shows up explosively, but the powerful siege dinosaurs and Valignant himself aren't enough to stop the arrest.
Well, but maybe counterattacking was too complicated. We can just attack and do something like that.
But now there's dinosaurs back at Westgate.
Exactly the same as last time. Just shows up at the door and it's like, "I'm going in," and they're like, "No." And he's like, "I'm going in."
That was a statement.
I don't think that you understand.
I was informing you, a declaration of intent, not seeking permission.
Double 7s.
All right.
Not amazing,
The city guard will counterattack. If they can get these dinosaurs before they get in, then
Wow.
that's good.
They are pretty slow. It's true.
Double 7s.
No,
Means that they don't.
Yes. No? Okay,
No.
no.
Contest here. If they had defended, then they would win. Didn't.
Wonderful. So they take 2 points to their might.
Want to treasure. Yeah, as you they try to surge out, but are beaten back. And bringing their little clock a little bit more. Like, come on, we could use some more nulls here. What we have this thing for?
As druids and water elementals from the distance gather their power, channeling the anger of Umberly, and send it against the Black Fleet of Thay, attacking Might. A straight up attack. That'll be with 8 dice for me. Triple tens.
It gets the bet. Damn. Yeah,
The power of nature.
Temporary 0 might.
All the while spreading the word that retribution is coming from against the forces of nature.
As this is going on, the night masks are beginning to talk in the street. This is the time to join. They is gonna go, and someone else is gonna take over. Get ready to profit off of this. We'll increase their might. Oh, try again. No. People
Now
don't
is
like
not the
him. People don't like him, as it turns out. Point
You'd somehow think there's not that many people left alive who remember the Night Masks, and yet...
Yeah. Like, weren't you vampires?
I mean,
Yeah,
look
God damn
who's
it.
left of factions in Westgate. It's the undead,
Yeah.
the goddamn crazy worshippers of a beholder, and dragons, and then they. They remember.
Also undead.
Yeah.
A lot of undead here in Westgate.
Yes, really. I mean, there's lots of work to do.
Yeah, it's Getra's time.
Gonna try again. You know what? Let's just get a little bit of money on some loans, Put some of that influence, get some money instead. Get ready to make use of the situation. The fleet will hire mercenaries, or try to anyway. Okay. Don't know who's dumb enough to do it, but someone. Okay. Just sign on. Yeah, the card is fine. And that's where your assaults cease.
No. I was just not wanting to hog the spotlight. Alright, the guard is surely subdued for the time being. So the Dragonflame will focus on the fleet here, I suppose. They are the actual target. That will be 3, 6, 7 dice. Double 6, triple 5. That's pretty good.
Right? Yeah, the guard will counterattack. Trying to
No.
double 8s. They didn't get triples though. Try to mass out. Beaten. Or bought off. The way to deal with them. Chance gets struck in the face once more.
The mercenaries are slain.
Yeah, they try to stand against the Dragonflame, but not enough of them. Not enough time.
Alright, again, let me mark treasure down here. 6 dice. Triple 9s. Counterattack this.
Stop it. They'll take a permanent damage to them.
Right.
But now he's not just like wounding people. He's smashing their like field hospitals and their barracks.
A large part of him feels bad about that, but a smaller part feels very good about it, so it balances out.
This really gives you a reflection of how Ophisterelix felt with his weird conflicting nature.
That's what we wanted. To understand Ophisterelix more.
If only you had had the chance to talk.
I
top
know,
down
right?
It did
and,
for a very long time.
and
Right.
truly understand.
Again, that might well be nothing soon. Double 9.
God, no, they will try to counterattack that again.
The city.
Attack? No, just block it. Counterattacking is wrong stats for them.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they will.
Make it.
Putting up barricades and whatnot, shielding their they saved them, or at least they has paid the commanders of these forces pretty well.
Right, one last then.
I think the angry druids and water elementals that were striking the Black Fleet of Thay now turn their attention to the Westgate City Guard for choosing to defend these undead, unnatural beings of fell magic and energy. They too are defying nature and will be punished accordingly. As perhaps some of the Malorites get a bit keen on the idea of punishing civilization.
Yeah.
As Emerald Enclave will attack the Westgate City Guard's might. This will be with 7 dice? Yeah, 7 dice. Double 9s.
They're going to try to defend.
Water
Yeah.
blasts them like into the sewers.
Okay,
And you
sure.
don't want to be in the sewers right now.
Yeah, they're pretty haggard now.
Basically, like, with a command like, stay out of this.
One last attack against the Fleet of Thay then, from the Dragonfane, and that'll be that for this year at least. Double 5. All right. Still getting doubles on 4 dice.
Okay. Well. All right. Yeah. Let's aim for 10. They have 110 from their expert die. Permanent.
Ooh, small fish. In
That
a
would-
big pond.
Would be nice to kick them out permanently, but even so, they're pretty neuter at this point.
Enough. I think the next action the Emerald Enclave will take is to begin to weaken like the walls and defenses of the Enclave itself. Like druids out there transmuting like the stone into like mud, like the very materials they use to build the building, with some unconventional warfare to weaken the very fabric of it so that the inner guts can be attacked.
I mean, they're of
That'll
course
be-
very confused by this whole assault, but
As they should be. I would be too. That's 9 dice. That is a pair of 4s. It's their territory.
well, you'll succeed dealing a permanent damage to their territory. They'd like to draw on their influences and such, but as long as there's no lull in the attacks, they can't really.
Let's see here. I think then the Emerald Enclave will actually like come in, and this time Imizuri leaders there will be with them as she attacks the Enclave directly, trying to boot them out of it.
Break in.
To break in. Because that portal there, she wants that gone. That's 4 might. That's 2 treasure. That's 6 dice, and her makes 7. It's a pair of 6s.
She can destroy their territory. They now have a permanently 0 territory,
All right.
which will expose their asset. Their asset is a Thayan portal, a Thayan gate. Normally, when you specify attacking assets, you have to make them vulnerable, and then you can strike them to permanently destroy them. Say, the Cormyrian fleet can be destroyed without necessarily destroying Cormyr. You have exposed their portal. If you want to destroy it, you could do a successful attack, much like you've just done, and
Okay.
basically smash the asset. You'd have to rebuild it. A significant time.
All right then, I'll do that. And these are leaders right here. It'll be 6 dice.
Basically, like
As
she
I-
rips off the roof, you know.
Yep, rips off the roof. Like druids there with her. It's just elementals flinging. That'll be a pair of 4s.
I mean, as I understand it, she has some expertise at destroying Thayan portals.
This, but they can't stop you. Yeah, you will smash and break that thing. They do have some significant defenses in the city, like the shadow. You know what? Maybe it should be.
Okay. As Mizuru just here, like, rips the portal apart and starts hurling, like, stones in the ocean, extolling the virtues of the natural world, and that the fell magic of the Thayans have no place here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of them around to see it. They have all gathered in their various hidey holes now. You know, the Thayan wizards are powerful, and they have a strong sense of self-preservation when they're not getting help from their homeland. Like,
Right.
to hide out.
That's their territory reduced to 0, and their might's taking permanent damage. If we reduce that might to 0, guys, that would, like, delete this.
Doesn't sovereignty have to be one of the sets of 0?
Territory or sovereignty, Manikai has told us, can be 0.
Right.
And their territory is now 0. I may not very well have even needed to make that attack against the asset if I just deleted them, but here we are.
Then you would have a gate to thank.
Yes.
I would love to.
Let's go visit. See where this goes.
You know what? Almost saying no effort wasted. The dinosaurs are already in the city. The Dragfane might as well try one more attack here.
All right. What are you attacking?
Targeting might.
Hunting down.
Hunting down the hidey holes.
No. I was hoping for it to get adventurous in on this, but
I mean, I'll compel Missouri. No effort wasted. She's gone so far. She has even gotten to their inner sanctum. Destroyed the portal. It'd be so easy now. If she doesn't, they'll rebuild, and she'll have to do it all over again.
I agree. She goes to to find the mass vampires and demands that if they don't do that, they're going in the ocean.
The night masks. Yeah. All right. Well, that's troubling for them. They'd hoped to take over the city. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I'll take that point of compulsion, but she's in her no effort wasted means that is going to be to threaten the vampires that are here to find
God
those
damn
hidey
it,
holes.
those are my allies.
attack.
Hey.
They find one, turn him into a vampire. Roll.
Can they steal power like this?
They wish, but
Uh,
there we go. That's the way. Yeah, because with that feeble strike here, the double twos, my god, they will extinguish the last of the fighting forces. Knocking it out of the city.
All right, good work.
good work, team.
I knew you could do it,
For
vampire.
which they will try to gather more strength because they don't feel done. No,
They are done.
that is very much what they're being told. But there's affection here that isn't done.
Yeah.
Rivers. Maybe Westgate should be a mind flayer city, you know? Maybe that would be better. But do they care about ruling Westgate? I don't think that they really do. No. It's not in there. agree. Does the Sleepers Council want to do anything here? Getra? Well, dead people here. Getra can eat. Probably just enjoying himself.
Yeah. Fucking feasting in the streets.
Yeah. That said, it might just be that the city just declares itself independent.
Independent?
Well, I mean, if there's no Thayans here, then they're not gonna.
Yeah.
If the Thayans come back, they might quickly just say, "Oh yeah, no, we were there loyal the whole time."
Yes, we tried.
Until that happens, done defending someone who can't stop. I just used to represent. Yeah. They leave, right? They have power. The Thayans could have send up forces that would probably challenge you all, even in strength. But those forces,
I'm pretty beat.
those, well, I mean, you are dragons,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
thus be very difficult for your factions to fight. But those forces don't engage. They are important elsewhere right now because they itself have been attacked. The attack is devastating. It is somewhat unexpected. No one thought they could get this far, which only fans on anger. Sets him back several years in his efforts, but also makes him redouble the effort to try to find these rebels, many of whom try to escape back. Yeah, that said, they've been frighteningly successful. Like, hoping to come back, take what they've learned, and maybe even do another assault. Maybe this time going for Sastam himself. Because if they could finish him off, then the rest would crumble. It seemed strangely easy. Basically, got in. They destroyed several Lich's phylacteries. They smashed up his research, and they sort of fought him off long enough that they could get out. Colossal success. They didn't commit. I mean, they were never going to stay. They're never going to send everyone. Their important leaders and such weren't going. But if they could accomplish this much with just, a test attack, then give a few years of preparation, and they will be ready for an all-in assault to liberate Thay.
They have humiliated Zastam.
Yeah.
That's probably not good for the world at large.
No.
I mean, his ritual probably wasn't good for the world at large either. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. That said, you'll be left alone here for a little bit. Though Thay is definitely coming back, given what they know of the connections between this place and the rebels.
Aboliths.
Yeah, and these fucking dragons.
Oh yes, who have clearly aligned themselves somewhat with the rebels. I mean, that much is obvious at this point.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. You do it though.
All right. How do we
You do it?
How do we celebrate, guys? How do we gather when the dust settles and the Thayans are given the boot?
I know of this totally underground place that is a great location to hang out in.
Oh,
I know of a great underground place where you go for the after party. I'll even queue up a ritual to breathe underwater so you guys don't suffocate.
As autumn probably threatens to shift into winter, and the city dissolves into anarchy once more.
Oh yeah, I mean the Nightmask are trying to assert their dominance, but they don't have the power to take over the Noble Council at the moment. They'll bide their time. Those guys are always looking for someone to protect them.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I propose then we instead of going through the sewer passage, we visit the Keep Thalbar, and make our way back through there.
The keep has recently been evacuated, given the hunt for Thayans. The Thayans were defending it. Nobody really wanted to be around them, with the angry dragons and druids and assassins and dinosaur lizards and dwarves, and there's been a lot of stuff coming in. Reminiscing a little bit of when the Red Banner host. Most people, though, I mean, are not bothered. You're not a visit. They're usually pretty good at marking themselves. The nobles have retreated to their various manors, probably to reconvene at a later time. There's, of course, there's guards here, but they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, the dragons want to go inside? Okay.
Yeah. Is the 2/3 of the treasure that got left here several years back still here, Wink?
Nah. They evacuated with
think
that
so.
stuff.
How dare they? Oh well. Yeah, we already know this route. We can take this route, assuming that the traps are the same. We shouldn't have any difficulty following this route.
Yeah, you can certainly see how things have been redecorated by Thayans
Yeah,
down here.
that's also good too to see how they may have changed things and developed them in our absence.
Thoroughly explored, certainly, and made into like a staging point for them to go further down. There's like piles of zombies and whatnot, I imagine the fighting of your troops might have gotten here, even if you haven't been hunting them down, right? Probably the Nightmares are the ones who did this last part. And they probably came from below.
Yeah.
You can see the aftermath of that fighting. Probably still a couple of like you pass a room and you can see like a couple of vampire thralls like draining a guy in there, and necromancer trying to usurp control of a horde of zombies. a couple of Mesoloth demons and a vampire fighting each other, neither having the weapons to truly damage the other. Things like that are happening.
Just typical Westgate things.
Yeah.
It
Really.
was clear that the Thayans had most of their forces focused on the like underwater passages right now. That's where they thought a threat would come from. Had already done some skirmishing with it down there, and beyond that, just were like demoralized and couldn't understand like what was happening. Right? They would get struck from all sides by all sorts of strange foes. They had no idea were aligned. It was rough for them. We should feel bad for them.
That's what I'm getting from you. I'm again,
terrible about
trying to
the
evoke sympathy.
The worst school
universe's
year.
bullies. Like the worst people, really.
Yeah, going the
So
same
hard.
way, you know the way, and that way is not really. It doesn't have a lot of forking compared to many other passages. We might have elected tokens here. Right back down there. Who knows how many times this false tomb has collapsed on top of someone since you were last here. It has this nice ability to reset itself.
That's my character already felt eerie whenever she was in here. That's a disconcerting thought.
Yeah, there's maybe like at the door, just like little bit of smear, a little bit of smearing, something that hasn't been entirely cleaned up. Maybe
Has
there's a smell in here.
Mhm. Has any water crept into like the direct passageway that's led to here, or has it remained like water free?
No, not this one.
Okay.
The water is falling further down. Maybe that's by design that this place is built with like drainage.
Mhm.
It certainly is very old and quite far down, so it certainly is below the water line. Just there are other places that are further down.
Sure. It also stopped raining here every day, so
Yeah.
that probably helps.
Yeah, I mean now it's just a general. The sea decreased really. So it hasn't been a huge issue.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, how do the dragons, as you go through all this carnage you've made? Not sure. How do you approach this tomb again?
My character is unnerved seeing the room with its huge statue that where Cicatrix correctly aligned, but then imagining like its ability to just like instantly like crush whoever's inside. She forgot about that because she wasn't here, but now that she's back here thinking about it, she feels unwelcome and doesn't belong here. It is already trying to think of arguments, even like fueled by the dragon energy that she has. That maybe she doesn't have to be here, you know?
I think Valignov, looking upon the statue that is the entryway to the lower levels, like make eye contact with it, sort of looking up at its head. See, mumbles. I think whatever is in this tomb is going to be a terrible thing indeed for us, for dragonkind. Terrible to the point where it needs to be us who finds it. We can't rely on this tomb being protected by its many safety mechanisms for long, especially if the Aboleth, for example, were to gain entry on it. And I'm almost certain it has something to do with the Dragon Rage, a phenomenon that I don't need to remind you how terrible it was. Or there might be nothing in here. Let's find out.
As the other two dragons looks at him, yes, let's find out.
How does
You first.
Cicatrix feel, Aaron?
I mean, she's very energized right now. I mean, she just murdered a bunch of things. You know, she like her troops take like the minions, and she gets to play with the whatever caster I imagine on the ship. But yeah, being in here, even though the room isn't that small, it feels pretty tiny. Knowing that the walls, the floor could just go in here. I mean,
My dragon and your dragon share a look.
like,
What if the puzzle changed?
when you stand in an elevator and like, man, it would really suck if this stuffed full elevator just stopped right here. You're like, yeah. Yeah, she looks to Valignov like, yes, lead the way. Let's get out of this chamber, particularly.
Maybe really just grits her teeth. It like looks towards the statue that needs to be reoriented.
Oh, right. Yes. Can I do that again, Malachi?
I think so.
Yeah. All
You
right.
did it once, and I think you rolled really well on it. So I think I even said back then that you could do it again. So.
Yes. I jazz hands, dragon knowledge.
The time to correct it. The statue imperiously staring
I
at
succeed
everyone
at
the same
correcting
time.
it. Yeah. Judging.
Um,
I mean, I think she takes a little bit of like, there's a little bit of pride. It's that she is older than these people, and sometimes, she needs some lessons from them. But she is older. She knows a lot of stuff. Like, even the High Priest of Tiamat didn't know this. So, that like there's a little like,
well,
yes.
How dare-
at least not with that minutia.
Yeah. How dare us not know the physiology of a topaz dragon?
Yeah. Again, you recognize that this is a thing that, if made wrong, would activate 3 traps. The room would collapse upon you. You would be stunned and paralyzed by active runes of pain that are localized all around the place. The dragon breath trap outside would reactivate, and beyond that,
Be a
you would be
bedtime.
affected by a mental berserker rage in here. If you could not resist it, willfully wanting to kill anything living within this room.
Yeah, the paranoid dragon is very careful.
A combined effort of someone who wants to make sure that whoever's in here, no matter how resistant they are in various ways, given that there's both a fortitude reflex and will
They will die.
defense. They will have a bad time.
Yeah, again, I think then there's like the initial smugness, and then as she like remembers like the waves of like, just basically I feel like dismantling the wards a little bit by doing like and just like remembers like, okay, yeah, she gets less and less Mermy again. Like has to concentrate about not hurrying too much because she wants to get out of this room.
Then you can move it and descend into the path.
I was gonna say, whoa, I'm not the first one.
Why not? See it done.
All right, she's the first one.
Yeah.
God damn you.
You're the older dragon. You're the superior dragon. That's what I heard.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Looking into this room, you can see the remains of a scavenged pile of dragon bone golem. As there were no new dragon bones from any dead dragons added in here, it seems the others have scavenged from the broken one. Beyond that, they attentively stand as if there was still a door in the doorway. However, it was shattered.
Are you sure you want to go in first with Cicatrix?
That's alright. You know what? If Alignif wants to, I mean, this is his. She stands in the door.
The cowardice there creeping back up, even though she's like supercharged with like dragon essence. Like her dragon energy.
Yeah, last time I wasn't quite prepared for this, but I would like to see if things changed.
I wouldn't want to. I mean, this is really your time to shine. And she like moves out of the way. Like she was gonna go in there if no one said anything, but now someone gave her an out. She's like, no, yeah, you're right. You know what? Yeah, I can see it done from here. Go over
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
The walls.
No, I can visually perceive it being done by someone else.
Yeah, I can literally see it done. Right
Technically,
here.
I'm a manager, so I take credit for.
Yeah. I supervised, the whole thing. Like, yes,
walls,
Alignif, hit them harder.
The walls of this room, again, marked with the engravings of dragons all murdered.
Mitzvah looks at Valignif and says, "The power bestowed upon you by Tiamat, can you use it to strike any of the entities from range and see whether they respond and actually try to squeeze and come out after us? That'd be a better way to fight them than walking in there." She like gestures with a claw, yes?
Well, there's a part of me that wants to respect the purpose of this.
You broke the door.
I did. It was definitely a good decision. However, we can always retreat and try that if this does become too difficult.
Introducer says, "All right. That's what you think is best."
Then, as a response, Valignif, presumably emitting palpable heat as both the other dragons stand next to him, will summon some of his inherent power to do a thing before we go into combat. Or I suppose as we go into combat.
How dare we take prep actions? That's cheating.
That's disgusting.
It'll be a prep action that is also an attack, you know.
Like, here I am looking at all these powers I could activate, like with before combat. That's unsportsmanlike.
As Velignov will summon the false wave of his Shield of the Gods. Will be a blast in front of him. Activating before he moves. So it'll basically attack this guy for 44 reflex and give him the buff, which is all I'm interested in, really.
21 force damage, and you're not prone.
With a roar, Velignov bounces into the room, glaring at the other golems, daring them to approach again. It'll go different this time, he is sure.
Roll your initiative. We'll put Velignith as having gone first.
My. There we go. That's what I want to see from you, Eric.
And by the way, as Velignith steps in here, the area and hallway once again begins to merge as the many dragons from the wall begin to spectrally move out in their rampage. So, the trapping effect. Spectral dragons.
And what does that do again?
We don't know.
We don't know. It's probably not going to be good.
I'm not gonna be a weasel. I should.
But don't worry, the spectral dragons are
technically-
also in the hallway behind you.
Oh, okay.
Don't
So
worry about that.
technically, I can hit him from here.
You can, yeah.
It's good to be a cowardly black dragon, really. Let me just see here. Okay, these guys are terrible. Sorry. Looking at myself like, oh, you move into the enemy. Like, no, that's all right. You know what? Okay. Well, fuck. You must really. So, okay. All right. I will do my circling predator attack.
A 41 is certainly a hit.
The first attack is a 34, though.
Oh. Also a hit.
Oh.
Attack twice, 27, and it is prone, so advantage.
Oh, yes.
Attack. Smashing into the draconic bones. So strong.
Yes.
Anything else?
I just frantically looking at her utility powers. Nope.
Dragonbone go on stand up. And
Oh wait, should there have been radiant on that? From the
No, Velignov hasn't used that power.
okay.
Right. It will turn to Velignith, and it will do its claw attacks. As
Got like
we
20 more AC than last time.
Right.
Alright, a 42 is a hit. The rest is a miss.
Fuck.
3 damage then, and 5 ongoing. It is worth noting that these have an aura. You're dragons. It would have an aura if you're not dragons. Yeah. It will just scratch at you. Then it will use its action point. Do it again.
Does nothing.
Lashing out in wild furies of draconic claws. Ripping and tearing.
These are Allegia's here. Right there. It's my. No, I'm adjacent here. 7, 8, 9. Beautiful. My 9 movement. Get a single power point, brutal barrage attack, the Dragon Ball Golem 3. Lowest one there is a 35.
Full hit.
Okay, 32 points of damage, and the Golem falls prone once again. As a minor action, she will give herself a meager 10 temporary hit points, and that'll be the end of her turn.
Over here, the others activate. Move to engage. Sure. This one here, and then Chachi, Missouri.
Yeah, that hits me.
Mentioned 5 ongoing save.
Okay, that will proc my immediate reaction as I take that damage. That'll be 14, taking off my 10 temporary hit points. And Persistent Harrier as her body shifts. 40 versus armor class for 20 untyped damage.
Yeah, that is. It's just basically leap upon you with their chronic.
And
Ready to
while
just-
she is hit, her body sort of phases, and she will teleport, we'll say, here.
And spectral dragons will activate.
Oh, I will actually take 5 less damage. You noted these guys were dragons, and I have resistance 5 to all dragon
Okay.
attacks.
The spectral dragons are also dragons.
All right.
This will be against Cicatrix, Malignant, and then Illusory. Cicatrix, Malignant, and
Yes.
Illusory.
No.
Misses.
All right.
The striker's been weakened! Woo!
Yeah.
As the dragons just fly towards you and ripping and biting at you, feel your body sapped of energy.
Pacific remembers that she should have had or drank her potion already, but nothing that a minor action next turn can't fix.
Malignant.
Listen, Cicatrix, don't feel bad. This power is nothing in comparison to what Tiamat can offer you, as it turns out. Minor action. You leech ally in the burst. Every effect that a save can end is removed.
We're to take your 5 ongoing now at the beginning of your turn.
Yes.
You are no longer weakened. Congratulations. The
Damn.
power of Tiamat.
Hey, compels you.
It does. And then Emmy's over there, so we're sort of split.
Yeah, I figure I'm going to mark these 2 golems and keep them on me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking about my vulnerability, but I want basically everyone attacking the same target at this point. But this one, we're just gonna smash into it. This macro is broken. Close enough. 40 versus Fortitude.
That hits.
Is that right? I've never used this macro before. That is not right at all.
Okay.
There's another 2d10 on there.
That's
Oh.
not enough damage.
28 damage.
Just bloody,
He'll be slid to the right. No, he will not, because then the Cicatrix can't. He'll stay where he is. But he is dazed, save ends, and Malignant gets resist all 5 until the start of his next turn.
Or Cicatrix can
Underground.
move through, like, we can move through ally spaces, right?
yes,
or
they're
do they
just-
block
but-
they're difficult terrain, but yeah.
But she's like nice and safe over there.
As it turns out, it makes no difference, but she feels safer here.
Yeah.
then you think
Wait, what does the cloud mean?
he's dazed
Oh, combat
and prone.
advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only have combat advantage once though, so no. All right. Well, it is just gonna be. God, sorry, I'm looking at my attacks and they're so they're so pathetic. Yes. We will do a. Where is it? There it is. Deep dagger wound. Wait, it's bloodied.
It is.
Well, I know exactly what to do then.
Good, then do it.
Yes.
Finish it. Hits. 20 damage.
It takes 5 ongoing until the end of being bloodied.
29. As you smash
Also,
it, magic
minor
leaks out.
minor action. Drink a anti-necrotic potion for 10 resistance.
Take away the healing surge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't fucking.
Well, it's on the
fuck
ground.
That shit.
It'll take its 5 damage. And spend its action to stand up. I believe it can save from that dazed, yeah?
Yes, safe hands.
In return, it saves. Image
Question.
here.
Does the ongoing damage count from like being from a dragon? I don't know, like in that context. Like whether my resistance applies.
What does it say?
Resist 5 all dragon attacks.
It'll apply.
Like I can okay. I can find the specific
I think so. I mean, if you have resist 5 fire and you have 5 ongoing fire, you take nothing. So
Yeah. Gain resist 5 to all attacks of dragons from the Dragon Dawn Shield.
I'd say so.
Okay. Alright. Minor action is going to single power point augment a battle mind's demand to mark both 1 and 2.
As I think
Now
like they've ended the.
Suppose that's true, yeah. I was within 5 reach. Okay, cool.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But Valignus is over them as well.
Yeah. You didn't even roll a save for it, so I figured you already knew that.
I of course I knew.
Yeah. A move action is going to be the shift here. And a standard action is going to summon a psionic energy around her and a close burst 1, targeting golems 1 and 2. Well, hold that thought. I don't have to shift. Who am I kidding? I am a cunning stalker. Oh no, Dragon Golem 2 is adjacent to Valignith. I was going to hit all 3 of them with it. Belay that. I'll just target golems 1 and 2. That'll be 48, 50, and 35 versus armor class.
Hit and hit.
Okay, that's 19 damage, and the targets cannot gain combat advantage until the end of my next turn.
Right.
I will action point. As I action point, I become insubstantial and phasing. I'm at 9 power points, and I will lower that to 7 because I'm going to perform that attack again. That'll be a 50 and 37 versus armor class for another 21 damage, and they still can't gain combat advantage until the end of my next turn.
We hit with both.
Alright, that's the end of my turn.
Bone.
The insubstantial dragon.
Shifts over there.
Hmm.
And it will do its attack. It doesn't have combat advantage. What does it know? A construct.
None of those will hit.
Nope. This one will.
That one will hit. That is 18 and then halved because of insubstantial, or do I have first and then subtract a 5?
I believe you do the reduction first.
Okay. That's 23 minus 5 for 18. Then I have, so it's 9 damage. Okay. I'm at 150 HP.
I think the logic is that before resistances, you haven't taken damage. Yet that we have.
Got it.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
Right. Now, roll an eye. Yeah. But I guess.
All right. As a move action, he is going to transfer the bonus of his Shield of the Gods over to Emmy. Just gonna re-roll that for the text.
Got it.
So it's +3 AC and reflex, and then he is going to punch this golem some more with this button. 37 versus AC
You hit.
for a radiant damage.
32 radiant.
It is not particularly.
It is in fact untyped damage. The mech was just wrong.
Sure.
But the damage is correct.
Punch into its many bones. There's not many bones there left. It is
Great.
falling apart.
You know what? Minor action. No, I'm gonna save that. Never mind.
Okay, right. Recicatrix.
Do we feel like this one's handled? Should I start beating on the other one?
You should take care of that Dragonbone Golem that you're adjacent to,
Okay.
because they have 4 attacks. They
That's
have a
true.
high to hit roll, and they deal a lot of damage.
Crit.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're all right.
40.
Target takes 25. There you go.
You.
Yeah, you lay into it, just smashing and breaking.
And then she'll move here.
Free to.
I am. It's true.
It means you're
All right. I am no longer insubstantial and phasing. The ongoing 5 is irrelevant. 2 PowerPoint Ego Crush against both of the Dragonbone Golems. It's a 48 and 40 versus armor class for 26 damage, and they cannot gain combat advantage until the end of my next turn.
both hits.
She continues to fuel the psionic wind around her. It's the end of my turn. I do not save against the ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're not smart targets really, so they will do their thing.
Courtesy of them not having combat advantage of the +3 AC granted to me by Tiamat, those miss.
And the other one doesn't.
No, also misses. Her hide is too tough, and she is fueled by a blessing of a goddess.
It's another round of spectral dragons for all of us. So Malignant.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Amy Suray. Just these spectral dragons as strikes into him, just sort of flowing through, really.
Is that 28 for me? I'm so
No,
pleased.
yeah. That is.
Yep, okay.
Malignant.
All right. Well, jokes on these spirits. I decide not to be weakened.
Oh, well,
I take 22 damage. Yeah, I take 17.
Got-
At 130.
you got hit by the attack.
Yeah, that was a 38 versus will. That is enough to hit me.
Oh, yes, I admit it's a 28.
I mean, I'm humble to accept that interpretation too. 33.
All right, for Velignev, that will be severing the source of Dragonbone Golem 2 there, followed by a Dragon Breath covering. Can I hit everyone? No, I cannot. Then we'll just do it like so. So that's the standard. This is going to be a move action. 2 targets. 40 versus reflex against the top one, and
It's
34
both.
against the bottom one.
28 by it's a good dragon breath these days.
Yeah, I spent a lot of feats on this. And the bottom one has vulnerability 16. And Emmy gains 8 temp hit points if she doesn't have any.
I don't have any.
Wonderful. And then we're going to spend an action point.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, which means, again, 28 and 38.
Oh my
That
god.
misses the top one.
Oh,
Hits the important one. Just bloodied by this sea of dragon fire just pouring out.
and then we're gonna add some radiant beams on top of that, because there will be a sacred flame that follows with the standard action of the action point.
Which just
30
hits.
plus reflex against the bottom one. Which will be 28 damage, and Emmy can make a save.
I succeed. I'm no longer weakened.
Wonderful. Right, that's all my actions.
Pikachu. Flanking.
Yeah.
Good
Bit
bonus of
of-
16.
The divine energy of the Dark Lady.
Yeah, I mean, looks at dailies. It's hard to resist though, but I will just continue what I have been doing. Really.
Okay. There. Smashing and striking more.
You're
Yeah,
adding the
worse.
vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
There's not much left of that one either.
I will choose not to capitalize on the brutal barrage. Well, the vulnerability with the brutal barrage. 2 PowerPoint ego crush against both of them again. Take me down to 3 power points. That is a 36 and 36 versus armor class.
It's
All right. 24 damage for the top one, 40 damage for the bottom one. Blows it away as psychic energy.
crushed. The upper one is
And-
beginning to shatter as well.
Yeah.
Wolves
And,
no longer hold the sway above you that they once did
All right. And
last time.
she has freedom of movement, as it's not adjacent to anyone else. She will move here to stand between the golem and Valignith. That'll be the end of the turn. I still am taking the ongoing, technically.
I too.
At 43 will hit.
That is a natural 20.
That's what, 40 damage? How much was that?
Let's see here. Yes, 40.
Okay, good, I remembered. That'll be 133 plus.
One of
plus
them
one.
just catches her like eye or something.
Oh, yeah. Blows through the 8 temp hit points.
I hate when the bones of my enemies
Forgot
get
to
into
factor
my
through
eye.
them. That'd be at 114 then. Yeah, I take that. Right across the face.
Ah, fuck!
These
She
old
snarls.
Jesus!
claws
Blood gets
that
in her
they're
eye.
wearing. Bones of dragons will kill each other. Alright. Let's see here. Nope. No more. Dragons! Malignant.
Valignith is. Yeah, he's gonna keep up with the Sacred Flame. Oh, can I do a lot of damage here? No, I really can't. So that 31 versus Reflex.
Right?
And Emmy gets 13 temp hit points.
Yippee.
Oops.
Remember, the longer you take in here to do your movement shenanigans, the more laugh we are to get pummeled by those spirits.
Yes, no, I'm doing a thing.
Okay. Ah, yes, your gorilla movement.
Eh,
Yeah, you can move in. You strike, hit.
great. And then I'll sneak attack.
Alright. Amy Zuray.
I don't take the ongoing 5, lower my power points to 2, single power point augment, brutal barrage attack. One of those is a crit, the lowest roll is going to be a 35 there.
32 damage in pro.
That'll be 32 damage and prone plus an extra was checking to make sure that I didn't have any extra damage against dragons, and I do. I deal 3d12 crit damage against dragons. One of those was a 20.
Hitting him out
All right.
as you smash it too.
That's
Yeah,
the mighty
Spectral-
Dragon Slayer weapon.
The spectral dragons, though, seem to continue for the time being.
Well,
Unaware.
let's check out the door, shall we?
You want to like roll a 1d4 before we make movements? Want to give us an initiative?
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Immusari Leader there like looks as like Valignant, and I'll honor the initiative like he moves towards the door. There he calls out, "We don't know whether anything else is behind the door. We should step back and recover."
Plaintiff ponders the door for a second. Does he find out anything by pondering the door for like 3 seconds?
Give me an Arcana check.
Sure. It's plus 17. 22.
Not enough time. You can't guess what would be up with it.
You know, it's true. We're at our best if we're all together, if we're all on the same page.
On the door is where you have the dragon holding up where the red comet thing is that then makes the scene of all them killing each other. So, you know, as he's close to it, he does feel the strange sense of something behind it.
Then let's get out of range of these spirits.
It seems like you'll have to climb up to the false tomb.
I suppose we do that.
Right, I'll just let it do another try here.
How dare you? I can run 26.
You can get up there.
I can run.
Fucking dragons just bolt.
Actually, I can run 28. Yeah.
Whoop!
All right.
It seems
No,
to
thank you.
continue in there for a minute. Then,
Yeah, I haven't used any heals in that combat, so probably safe to use them now.
We're definitely taking our
Uh,
short rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about one for everyone? The Cicatrix, myself, Emmy. Plus 30 on mine, okay.
I was gonna say I didn't lose that much life, but
Let's see here.
Healing Surge plus 40, okay.
God, the fucking cleric shit is unreal.
Yeah, I'm at full HP. My normal healing surge restores 42, as you might imagine.
God.
It's 1/4 of my HP.
I miss being a defender.
And I still have all my dailies. I didn't use any of that. I know you do to varying degrees. There'll be some nice bookkeeping for next week when we go back down there and see about that fucking door.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the door.
The
Yeah.
next room full of deathly traps that will prevent us from continuing any further.
Yeah, we're hard at work at learning the secrets of the tomb of Kisan Rathazar.
certainly.
And along the way, we thumped a Thayan enclave with 0 repercussions, like all the other times we dealt with the Thayans in the region.
No, you know, good riddance. Never seen them again.
Yep.
There will
I'm
be
sure
no
they'll stay away.
consequences.
You know what?
Channel's
Maybe
gonna
they
be
killed
distracted.
System, and you know
Gone
everything
like
is
the
great.
Fae did when they took Tilraxos, you know?
Well,
Right. He's going to live with the the Queen of Air and Darkness now, Zaz Tam.
You also predicted the planar alignment. Well,
Congratulations.
2 goals for next time.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We were pretty close to a level up, weren't we?
Let's see. We're not super far.
and we also should get XP. Sheep gets XP for the reduce territory for Karenheim, right?
3,
I mean, we did just get to level 22 recently. Yeah, we haven't been here for long.
Yeah.
It's true.
But we did fight an undead stone giant at this level. Which was our last combat.
Ugh, shudders. Ugh, no.
Alright.
He can take over the.
If you want to know, you're at 247,116 out of 255,000 needed.
Okay. If
About
only like
7,000 more XP.
if only deleting the Thayan Enclave here had been an easy goal, Wink.
Would have been an easy goal probably, but yeah, you know. You're working on other hard goals that
We are.
I feel like it was kind of part of that.
It was. That way we could get access to a favorable route to get here as opposed to those sewers.
Yeah, no random tables for you.
That's
Except
right.
maybe when you go further down.
No. Sheep,
Yeah.
I don't know what's on the other side of the meteor rage door.
Is it a meteor that makes you rage? We'll find out.
It's just a meteor that falls on your face repeatedly, just smacks into the ground.
Well, what if it does attack over Wills and we're threatened to go berserk? That's a trap that's here in this room.
It's okay, I can't sneak attack Malignif. I can only do 2d4 damage to him every turn. He's immune to rogue.
It's okay, you'll just upgrade the damage die of your dagger. Fine.
Fucking pathetic d4s.
I'm immune to domination. I don't know if I'm immune to meteorite berserk rage. I don't
No.
know whether my epic destiny covers that.
Oh.
Damn. Next week, everyone.
Love
Maybe,
you,
finally,
Tommy.
the secrets of the tomb.
Unveiled.
I don't know, Kermit. I do think you actually would be immune because the
Yes!
trap is a dominate effect. Just has
Yes!
a dominate effect followed by, while dominated by this effect, you
Alright.
make all attempts to murder every living thing in here.
I will survive, and I will go to Yinka and say, Valignith is dead. And now the only hope of bringing Tiamat to this plane resides with me. No, we're cicatrix? What about we're cicatrix?
She's
Oh,
still there. It's just killing people. Just
The ring tells me she's there. She can teleport to me at any moment. She doesn't realize.
You made use of a one once in a lifetime opportunity. Well, maybe two in a lifetime. After how well the first one went. You know,
Yes.
maybe they will be solved. You know, maybe you won't even
That's
have
right.
to worry about it again.
I mean, apparently it was a smashing success, and that was unexpected.
And
I think I can trust the narrator here. Totally reliable.
And we have I'll say we have very interesting times ahead.
we're going past 5e.
Oh, if we play for long enough.
Nah,
Just
we're not. We're not.
destroying lore.
We got to delay
We're
it
not-
until
Yeah,
until like 5.5 comes out.
Ugh.
All right.
Suddenly all the adventures are like terrible.
Well, we're so fucked, aren't we, guys? In a decade, when then the next like visitors come.
Yep.
Good. I
Yeah.
look forward to that. May that never
mean-
come for like another 50 sessions. Yeah. Maybe we will be dead by that time period.
Oh yeah, when Steve can't be here.
We'll talk to you all
Like-
later. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night.
See ya.
Nice.
Bye-bye.
And with that stream, I think we're gonna say good night from here. I hope you enjoyed the session, and see you next time. Bye.